The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he
missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
When it comes to racing cars, Germany is known for its ruthless efficiency. Whether you talk about marques like Porsche, Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, or Audi, you know you'll be up against an unrelenting force. That same fervor must be their MO when building racetracks, because the Nürburgring remains a gold standard nearly a century after it was first built. Though today's drivers will be taking on the Grand Prix course and not the daunting Nordschleife, it certainly won't mean they'll have an easy day ahead of them. There's only one more chance to stand atop the podium in this winter's qualifying as we get ready to watch the final round of the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth today is Bill Soup Zahn. Next to him is our resident strategy expert, Sean Crackers Ambrose. Behind the scenes is our director, Amjad Yaman, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Sean, this track appears minuscule sitting next to its predecessor, but it's actually been around a fair while at this point.
Yeah, Joe, it has been around a little bit while. I mean, they started construction of the new Grand Prix track back sometime in '83, and the German Grand Prix in 1984 hosted the Formula One Grand Prix in 2009 and 2011, 2013, located in the little old town of Nürburgring, Germany. We're here in 3.2-mile course today, 5.51 miles. 3.2 miles, 5.51 kilometers. Gotta get my my metrics levels there checked in there, Soup. But I'll tell you what, this is a beautiful track. It placed in a beautiful setting. The track very, very challenging though. I can't talk about it enough. I would like to take a ride around in the Global Sim Racing Channel BMW and take a look at this storied circuit.
All right. Well, we've had a little bit of a technical difficulty with our lap guide. We might try and get that in a little bit later. In the meantime, we do have the points to worry about, and as we said, this is the last round of the qualifiers. Last chance for these drivers to try to get off the bubble and make it into the Big Boy Series. So, Bill, what are we looking at?
Well, this is a little bit unique here this time. We only have 2 splits compared to where we usually have 3 or 4, even 5 sometimes. Now, basically, that's because this race is coming on the heels of the 24-hour Le Mans, and also many of the teams have already locked in. Remember, this is a series to simply qualify into the main 2017 Blancpain Endurance Series that will be starting up soon. So it's probably more important to the teams that are on the bubble. Now, keep in mind, as we look at these points, these are the raw numbers that are provided by iRacing. They do not take into account the drop events. Now, if you look at the standings there, not surprising to see VRS Coanda on top. They've been dominant the whole time. Pure Racing Team Red and Iberica Racing. We've seen all these guys all season long. Another Pure Racing team, that's the black team down there. And then ERA Logitech, number 726. Guys we've seen for a lot of the 5 previous broadcasts that we have. But let's move down to what is a little more important. This is the on the bubble points. Now, keep in mind, though, again, that these are the raw numbers. Now, the split line, what has been officially announced, is at 25. You can see that Apex Racing Simulators sits right on that mark right there. But it's really possible with some cars not coming back for the next round, how many cars are going to be able to be eligible to get in. That drop line may actually go all the way down, maybe all the way down to 28th or 29th. So you look down there, keep an eye on Torrent Motorsports, Thrustmaster, Mivano, JIM Racing Yellow. They've been around a whole time, and Team RSO BGT. All those guys, that's where the really intrigue, Joe, is for the teams, and we'll keep an eye on watching those that are close to getting in. They really want to qualify for the main event coming up in a few months.
And we've got our lap guide ready to go, so why don't we hop on board that GSRC BMW. All right, we've got Amjad Yammer to the GSRC BMW, so let's do a lap around the Nürburgring. You'll see a lot of pass attempts into turn 1, but this corner is so sharp that it's easy to lose track of the line your opponent is taking. Take caution when you try to pull an over-under. From there, you head into the Mercedes Arena, which is the most technical portion of the track. These next few corners are all going to be slow and come up without much break in between. Figuring out the correct line can be difficult, and the one positive to take out of this is that it'll allow you to catch the slower drivers who haven't sussed out its secrets. Be sure to use as much runoff as allowed, since much of the speed can come from there. After that, you head towards Valvoline, which is going to be a medium-speed downhill left-hander. For me, it always feels like I enter too slow, but don't be fooled, as it can be easy to get over-ambitious. Try to hold left even on the exit, because it'll give you a wider entry into Ford. The reason you want to sacrifice the first part for the second one is we're going to continue to plunge downhill and keep picking up speed. This leads us into the heavy braking of Dunlop, where anxious drivers might be looking for a pass. So obviously, the best way to defend will be to get a good run down here. The heavy banking can make outside passes possible, but it's still extremely difficult to pull off. Now we're on to the back half of the course, which starts with a quick left-right flick. Feather the throttle and try to straight line them as much as you can. Don't waste time in recovering and bring the car to the right for turn 11. This feeds you directly into 12, which is going to be critical to your lap time. Make it one smooth flowing motion and set yourself up for a good exit. You're going to be on the gas for a little while, and any hesitation could make you vulnerable to the car behind. Now, the Vidal chicane coming up is sharper in other layouts, but this one takes the quick version. That makes it a lot tougher to outbrake your opponent. Don't be surprised to see a too wide attempt at some point in the race, but I can't promise that it'll end well. After that, all that's left is the final hairpin, so late apex that sucker and launch it onto the pit straight. Though we're racing in the shadow of the Nords, this place certainly has its fair share of difficulty, so treat it with respect. And with that, we now finish our lap around the Nürburgring. Well, that should give you an idea of what the track looks like from the driver's perspective, but what from the race will look like for your perspective. Let's go to Sean to get the race details.
Let's do it, Joe. And yes, sir, today's 3-hour event is going to be piloted by 2 to 3 drivers from each team. Now, today, the cars on track will be the Audi R8 GT3, the BMW Z4, the Ford McLaren GT, the McLaren MP412C GT3, and the Mercedes AMG GT3. So all five of those manufacturers being represented out there today. It is going to be a great race. 25x incident limit. We'll talk about some danger out here on the track today at some point, but you don't want to get off of those lines. You want to keep it on the track, in between the lines here today.
Just a few seconds left in qualifying. As soon as we feel that pretty much all the drivers have got their laps in, we'll go through the grid for you and tell you what the order will be for this 3-hour race around the Nürburgring. And I think with about 10 seconds left, I'm not seeing anybody looking like they're likely to get some laps in. So, Dara Contigo Race Team is going to be our pole sitter today. Shinya Machimi Sim Racing Yellow is going to be starting on the outside of the front row, with Core Sim Racing BES in third. Torrent Motorsports on the outside of row 2 in fourth, with Hoysinkveld Core Motorsports in fifth. Radicals Online Steel Series will start the race in the 6th position, followed by Odox Motorsports Samsung number 30 in 7th. Then in 8th, it's Vendaval Sim Racing Right, followed by Pure Racing Team Blue in 9th. And rounded out the top 10 bill, Black Star Racing Gemini.
In 11th, Apex Racing Simulators. Gecko Vortex Sim Racing, that's the green version, in 12th position. MSP Drivers Home 1 in the unlucky Baker's Dozen spot. Trident Racing and Gecko Vortex Sim Racing go 14 and 15. All ribbon and curls in 16th is JIM Racing Yellow. Feeder Ragnar Simulator in the 17th spot. Team RSO BGT in 18th. A lot of these names we talked about being on the bubble. There's Jim Racing Black in 19th. And in the 20th spot, Mr. Sandman, send me a Dream Factory. Sean?
All right, and then Thrustmaster Vermano Black in 21st. Orion Race Team number 2 in 22nd. Origin Front Row Racing, there's a proper name, Bill, 23rd. Team Chimera, 24th. Dream Factory 2, 25th today. Trinity Motorsports Green, going to be 26th. Dark Contigo Racing Team, 27th. Team Theme, DK, 28th. That's going to be Thime or Theme, I'm not sure. All right, MSP Drivers Homes 2, 29th. And in 30th, BSR J Blanco, Team Red.
Vendaval Sim Racing Azul will start 31st, followed by JCL Sim Racing BES 1 in 32nd. Vendaval Sim Racing, just Vendaval Sim Racing, starts 33rd. PND Racing will start in 34th, followed by VEC Sim Racing Yellow in 35th. Then in 36th, it's Enter E Racing BES number 1, followed by Extreme Motorsports in 37th. And then we have two teams that did not manage to get laps in. iRacing Brazil GT3, they're usually a front runner. Expect them to have a hard time charging through the field. And Team GTNF rounds them out in 39th. Pace car has taken off. We got our rolling start getting ready to take place. And then we're on our way for 3 hours of the final round of the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series. And one thing that's interesting, Sean, is as they go through the chicane here, this is a bit faster than what we see in like Formula One and whatnot.
Yes, it is. This is the faster chicane, if you will, where it cuts off to the right and then back to the left. That left-hander, the other chicane, where you go left and then back to the right. It's a much slower chicane. So, here we go.
A green flag is out.
Joe.
Jesus Cecilia leads the way in the lead car as they head their way down towards the first hairpin. This is going to be very tight. They tend to stack up here. We have already got a car sliding off into the sand. Can't quite see who that is, but we'll come back to it later. Now coming into the Mercedes arena, cars starting to sort themselves out. Very slow and technical portion of the circuit. Already about the top 6 or 7 getting single file. Still quite a few who are 2 wide, some even maybe 3 wide.
Pretty clean, Sean, other than the incident that we had early. So far, so good.
Yeah, so far so good indeed. Not a bad start. Everybody's starting to give a little bit of space and spread out just a bit here early.
Sounds like it's Scripjack who was the victim in that first corner incident. We'll get back to that in a moment as they work their way around the Dunlop hairpin and now to the back half of the course. Jesus Cecilia and the Dark Contigo Racing Team building himself a nice buffer, has a gap already of about a second, and they're not even done with the first lap. Philippe Petrevsky and Shinya Machimi gives chase.
Everybody through the Dunlop curve there.
Single file all the way back to about, well, the whole way.
Yeah, pretty much, Bill, all the way to the back of the field here.
A little bit of a smaller field than we're used to seeing. They didn't split as many splits. Usually we see up to about 6 different splits. This one only had 2. So these guys really are the best of the best in this case, with it being a little bit more scant field. Coming around to complete the first lap. No surprises there as Jesus Cecilia leads the way. Already up to a 1.5 seconds over Philip Matrevsky. Marius Golombek holding down that podium spot, though, into third as they now break into the hairpin. We got a little bit of a challenge. Oh, and there's some contact back there. Looks like Andrew Rodriguez got tipped a little bit by Mikko Nidimaki.
Yeah, very back of the field. Jawad Karoni also got caught back there. JCL Sim Racing BS1.
currently running in 39th now, yeah.
Yeah, right at turn 16 there, he got around and off course.
Oh, Massimo Era getting into trouble back here. This is on the last bit of the Mercedes Arena, turn 3, I believe it is. Let's look at the replay and see what happened, because I didn't quite see it live. Massimo is just ahead of Stefan Jan for Team RSO, and oh, it looks like Stefan was a little too eager into turn 3. You're going to see it here as he ducks to the inside, and unfortunately the apex was not there to be found. Kind of a,
we're just looking at it a few times, so it's hard to make a judgment call, but kind of a late presentation there from Jan.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. We're going to watch it from Massimo. Yeah, oh wow, he came in way late. Let's look at the start, though, and see what happened to Marcin. From what I saw on above, he just did not expect it to go, it looked like almost 4 wide, and went out to the grass, and, well, there's just no grip back out there.
And just after that, Bruno de Carmo had trouble, just like one corner later after what we just saw with Jan for iRacing Brazil. He got put in the wall.
Yeah, he did. He made contact. His Audi made contact with... here we go, on board with Marcin.
Oh, yeah, he was taking evasive action, it looks like.
Yeah, Bruno got a little bit of contact, was able to straighten it out, and then, unfortunately, Marcin came back across. They made that contact, and that sent Bruno into the wall. Both got back under power, but I think Bruno's got a little bit of damage on that car on the front end there.
We're going to see if we can find it on the replay here. Sean, was it shortly after?
It was just after the contact that we saw with Jan, just literally one corner later.
Yes, it was, yeah, and it was coming right here. There you see the contact there. Nope, sorry, wrong turn.
Yeah, it was on lap 2, so we were back a little bit.
Sorry about that, guys.
And he's out. That we can report, though, that iRacing Brazil, that's the GT3 car. They qualified 38th. They're out there running 39, so they haven't lost anything. They were back in the pack to begin with. Lap 2, a little messier than lap 1.
I guess everybody had the jitters out and were a little more brave, causing some moves that don't quite work out. Tell you what, Marius Golombek, though, in that 3rd spot, he is very much under threat. Tommaso Renz for Corsim Racing BES is all over the tailpipe of that Mercedes. As they work their way into the S's now, nowhere to go, but he could get himself a good run, maybe have a chance into the chicane. Just a little too far away. He's about 2 car lengths back, it seems. Without a whole lot of braking into this fast version of the chicane, it's just not close enough to make it happen. Stepping a little farther back to find ourselves a battle, looks like Samuel Libert very close to the back of Lucas Justat. This is in 10th and 11th and 12th rather. Heading back down into the hairpin. Probably your best opportunity to try and overtake, but just too far back for him to go. Both of them giving the apex just a little bit of a miss. Meanwhile, here the number 8 car was having trouble. Not sure if I heard correctly there. That is Verdran Crawley. Whoa. We're going to go to a replay here, see what started this. He was moving backwards. Oh, this started in the hairpin. He got sideswiped by Nicky Time.
In that blue car, yeah. Took a late entrance. Again, well, boy, you know, Time couldn't get the car on the inside line. He drifted into him.
Nicky known for being a real-world Porsche Super Cup driver. And Verdran just went straight into the barrier. I'm not sure if he decided to intentionally end his race or if maybe had... We're going to see it here. It almost looks like a hardware failure or something bizarre.
Yeah, it took he really almost came to a stop, unusually slow, and then the car just went straight.
Well, we won't know if that was a rage quit or if it was hardware failure unless they come and talk to us. So, Verdran, if you're out there, come and tell us what happened. And in the meantime, we've gone back to 20th, Nicky Time, working his way through the field.
A little bit further back from 20th, Marcus Meyer, a little bit of trouble early. That's the number 28 or the number 60 car, Trinity Motorsports Green. A little bit of front end damage on that Merc. They've slipped all the way back to 28th. Still trying to pick that back up. That's got them several positions from where they started there. Eight spots lost already.
A lot of damage on that nose, unfortunately. Just behind them, quite a close battle between Fabio Lotti and Marcin Skrizak. Remember, Marcin was up towards the front of the field, so he's having to work his way through.
Yeah, talk about cars down. 17 spots down the grid already, back to 31st. He is battling, though, all over the bumper there. Fabio Lotti. Lotti closes the door on him there, guys.
That was brave stuff. I don't usually expect to see cars make passes into here, but that's twice now. We've seen some very tight moves as Marcin continues to duck and dive, trying to find his way through as he hits Valvoline and then now Ford. Oh, he's very close behind now. This is going to be his best opportunity heading down into Dunlop. Is he going to stick his nose in? He stays in line. Now he ducks out. Not brave enough on the brakes, though. Looks a little bit stuck behind Fabio at this point. Difficult to stay close behind him. We got a car off. That is Vincent Lherbier. Something happened out of the S's. Wonder if he lost control.
Little side by side there, actually.
No, he was by himself.
Yeah, it did start with him getting loose. It looked like he almost made contact, but doesn't.
Great job of the other guys. He skidded right out of the way of the cars coming on.
Yeah, really good job. He backs up off the track there just as everybody's getting by. That was close.
That was Jeremy Lamier who narrowly avoided him once we watched this onboard of Vincent.
Yeah,
his car swiped by.
A little bit too much curb there to the right, Joe, and then when the car got back across the track, just out of shape, you couldn't catch the rear on it.
Sean, I really think he got off the brake there and let the car roll back off the track. I think that was some really good driving.
Yeah, I think he probably felt the sense the momentum of
didn't like where he was.
Yeah, sense the momentum of which way the car was traveling and just let it go off the track.
Meanwhile, third place still watching this battle for the podium. Thankfully, Marius got a little bit of a run off of Ford, and Thomas does not have an answer for him coming down to Dunlop. But in regards to him getting off the brake there, Sean, I think what happened, he was facing the traffic. He knew there were no cars heading that direction. And so that's the only time I would say that was a good idea to get off the brake.
Yeah, well, obviously it was a close moment for everyone involved there early on in this race. We're only 10 minutes in.
Oh, and Tomas Arens seems to have had a connection issue. He's gone from the track. He might still reappear, but right now it's looking like he is not coming back. It has been a while. Let's go to what is now 25th. Bill, you're checking out something back in the pad?
Yeah, and he's coming. Here's the hard charger. This is Jeremy Lemire right now racing in the number 4 machine. And he's, of course, racing for Team GTNF. Right, but he's coming up. There's a nice battle. Oh, right behind him we have...
Yeah, into the chicane, guys. Nils Sentikowski, Vendaval Sim Racing, off the track, into the chicane, contact.
Oh yeah, he had some help from Marcus Meyer there. Thought he could make it too wide, and that did not work out. Gonna watch on board from Meyer, see what his angle looked like. Maybe he felt he was farther up alongside him. Oh, this is the driver with a bit of damage, remember?
Right.
Just gets a nose in, and not far enough.
Well, probably a little more lift needed there, Joe. What you think?
Just to follow up on the 4 car before they had that issue there, Lemire. He's up 13 spots right now and coming up on a great battle. He has a chance to pick up 3 more. Nice battle running in here for 22nd.
Yeah, here we're watching Jeremy catch up to these. Oh! Caroni having problems for JCL Sim Racing BES. Let's see what happened to him. Amjed's wearing out the replay button once again. Oh, and this is a solo incident, it looks like.
Looked like he clipped the inside barrier there just a little bit too on that front end. It's second time Jawad has had trouble in that JCL Sim Racing BES #1 machine.
Right in front of Tony Reposar there. Did a good job for VEC Sim Racing.
Yeah, he was a little overambitious on that apex, I think. And it bit him. You know, one thing I am noticing about this track, Sean, we've seen this track once before. Bill and I watched the Autobahn series race this very layout. It's surprisingly difficult to pass here.
Yeah, it's not a circuit that is just plentiful with great passing opportunities. Unfortunately, you've really got to pick and choose them very, very carefully here. Turn 1 is obviously a good spot, the Dunlap and the Vidal chicane, but for as good a spot as turn 1 and the Vidal chicane can also be, they can be in trouble.
Let's go back to 21st. Sorry to interrupt. We've got quite a battle going on. Patrick Ura side by side with Augustin Marine, and Marine loses out. Now he's going to lose another position. Almost contact with Bruno Duran-Anidos as he tries to stick his nose in on turn 3. Still single file. Bruno tries to get himself a good run off of 4, and it backfires on him. Now he's being looked upon by Jeremy Lamier, but Jeremy's too far back as well for Team GTNF, and now things start to settle out. Oh,
there he goes.
Take that back. Jeremy Brave down into 4, takes the inside line, side-by-side racing down into Dunlop. It's going to be a drag race to the hairpin. It looks like Bruno has just about a nose ahead, but he's on the outside. Jeremy's got the advantage with the track. Turning to the right side. Has he got the spot? Could be an over-under for Bruno, but no.
That's why he's the hard charger. Up 16 spots now.
I'll tell you who wanted no part of that, and that was Patrick Jura. He just broke away and said, you know what, I don't want any of that madness. He's leading that pack now. Jura now finds himself there in 22nd, guys. 21st,
actually,
I'm sorry.
Up to 21st, and he started 29th, so he's gained a number of positions himself. We are only 15 minutes into a 3-hour race, and these guys are antsy. And Bill, this is one thing I wondered about. This is the last round, in fact, the last race of this week's 3 that they hold. I kind of wondered if we'd see a few desperate moves from drivers that needed to get off the bubble.
I think we have drivers on several different agendas. You have some drivers that are probably confident that they've done what they needed to do in the first 5 events and kind of out there racing without much pressure. And then I think you have other drivers that are trying to hold onto their spot, just looking to get a decent result, and other drivers who need to really have a great result because they know they're well below the cut line. So, yeah, we could see quite a variety of tactics out there right now. And speaking of that, let's look at second place. We haven't been up front for a while. He's starting to pull a little bit, but look at this train that's going on. 3rd all the way back to about 7th. Still hanging in there.
Absolutely, although it looks like Philip is pulling away a little bit. He's got about a second over these guys now. So I think he's found his pace,
yeah.
But you're right that there is definitely a truly train starting to form. Maurice Golombek being the first of them.
Now, Sean, probably 2 stops today, 3 segments, so it's not necessarily the worst thing that you can do to be sitting back there saving a little fuel.
No. If you're going to save it, now's not a bad time to do it. Start working your strategy now. I still can't get off this battle back here, though, for 21st place. Jeremy Lemire, the Team GTNF driver from France, up 17 spots, now sitting at 22nd. He is now all over Patrick Jura, applying the pressure, trying to force Jura into a mistake, but having none of it yet. They head up to the chicane. We'll see here if maybe get a move. Lemire gonna keep it safe and stay right behind. They continue heading up the hill. I love all the undulation in this circuit, guys. Really makes for some exciting racing.
Definitely quite a bit of elevation change doing its mother track justice. Jura was feeling the pressure. He went defensive and didn't need it, but now he's definitely going to need it as he goes to the inside, but it's not far enough inside as Jeremy sneaks in there. Can he get it turned, though? This is a sharp hairpin. He keeps it on track, trying for the over-under. Jura doesn't quite have it. He's got a nose around the outside, but I don't think there's enough grip there. And once again, Jeremy gets himself another spot. Jura makes an ambitious move into 3, but there is nothing doing. Let's go on board Jeremy. That is brave stuff there. He had just a car's width left on the right side. Look at this.
Yeah, he just dives it in there. He was really trying. He was setting that up for about 2 laps, to be honest with you, and finally makes his move there and pulls it off.
You know what I think happened, Sean, is it looking at their qualifying times, they don't have one. I think whoever was qualifying for GTNF must have had a 1X on both of their laps.
Oh, there is no qualifying time. That explains it. I just thought they had a 4 qualifying time. Well, I guess that is 4.
Which is going to leave them with a tremendous amount of work to do today. But I'll tell you what, not too bad of a start here. Only 20 minutes in, guys.
Certainly making up for it. We got a little bit of side-by-side battle behind them. Bruno once again going at it with Marcin Skrizak. Marcin gets himself a fantastic run coming off of that last right-hander down through the kink. He's got the inside, but it's going to switch back as they're still side-by-side heading up for the Vidal chicane. He's on the outside, and I think Marcin thinks better of the move and gets out of it. Up in 15th, we got a nice little battle going on. Joel Guez just ahead of Dado Opasak. In fact, they've got more cars behind them itching to get by. Simone Maria Marceno and Nikki Time all getting bottled up here behind Joel.
Now, Nikki Time is up 8 positions. They qualify, or 10 positions actually. They qualified 28th, currently running in 18th right now. So look for that blue machine. That I guess it's blue, maybe it's lavender. Okay, we got it blue. My rods and cones were working right there. Out there, Guez reading the way, though, up in 15th for Gecko.
Ooh, Guez had a bad entry down into Ford. I'm not sure if that's going to hurt him. Looks like he makes good of it, at least down the hill towards Dunlop. So tricky to get that line right between Valvoline and Ford.
Of course, we saw Joel Racing had a couple stints yesterday when we were doing the Daytona 24 on GSRC. I said Le Mans in the pre-race show. I apologize. Is this Le Mans when I do 24? Le Mans just comes out automatically.
That's understandable. You had a long day anyway, so. But right now, Joel, with his long day, is holding back these 3 quite successfully. Dado not able to get anything out of this corner. And so they stay single file. This 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th that you're watching on screen. Oh, and Ninimaki has had some trouble here.
And I think it was with Lucas Justet as well.
It was, yeah. It was with Justet. They had trouble there down in the last turn on entry there. Just a little bit of contact from behind and.
A little bit of contact from behind? Is that what you're calling that one? Nick Amati might... Miko might have a different definition of that one.
Dare I say punt? Okay.
Well, he's still side by side right now. In fact, with Simon Trindle as they work their way through the Mercedes arena, very tight between the two of them. Simon has the inside. It's going to switch back. Is Miko going to try and stick it in there? No, he does not.
Miko dealing with a little bit of damage on the right front of that Audi.
Oh, and Bruno Duran Anidos has gotten into trouble as well for BSRJ Blanco Team Red. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. He's down in 28th right now. Oh, there was a number of cars involved, actually. Looks like Augustin Marine was involved and Marcin Skrizak. We're just a little early there.
Yeah, it's down into turn 1, Joe.
Let's see what started this one. It looks like Bruno may have been the cause of most of this. Just got into the back of of Augustin Marine.
Yeah. And then they all kind of, a little bit of a punt there. Meyer got into the back of Andreas as they had to check up.
It's always hard to tell who's at fault with it being such a sharp corner, Bill.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of got a little bit of a different line.
I would say they're both at fault right now with so long to go in the race, Sean. I mean, let's have a little give and take at this point.
Basically, 4 cars fighting for one hairpin there.
We're nearly a half hour into this 3-hour race, so let's get you up to speed on what the top of the field is looking like. Jesus Cecilia has led since the drop of the green for Darkon Tigo. Doesn't look like he's going to be giving it up any day soon with 6 seconds. Over second place, Filip Matrevsky for Shinya Machimi Sim Racing Yellow. They've got just about a second over the final podium spot. That's Marius Golombek in Torrent Motorsports BES. From back there, then it gets really tight because Wyatt Gooden is trying to hold off Angelo Michel. And actually, thought maybe we'd see a pass here. Angelo in the 5th position. If you want to keep going beyond the top 5, it is very tight, as I said. Juan E. Lopez for Vendaval White is not too far back with Andrew Rodriguez in 7th. And then the last of this train is Jonas Vollmeyer. He's kind of just tagging along. Doesn't look like he's able to threaten. He's trying to stay hold of this group.
Now, I'm a huge fan of Wyatt Gooden, and I always like to see him race. Right now, maybe Radical Online Steel Series can maybe get in contact with us, because I'm showing him right now as their only driver. I'm sure they probably have somebody else lined up. But looks like he's doing it all by himself right now for the 221.
We'll have to bring Rob back. I know Rob is part of the Radicals team.
I guess I wouldn't mind having Wyatt go the whole way, but I don't think you'd get points for that.
No, that would just be a for fun run, I believe. These guys are all very tight. Look at that. All was about 6 or 7 cars in one shot there. You make one mistake in this series, Sean, and it seems like you just lose positions hand over fist.
Yeah, you will lose them quick. Wyatt, though, the highest of the BMWs out there. Got a couple more in the top 10, but that Steel Series BMW certainly on it right now, pushing it to the limit, and good battle in front of him there with Golombek. There's another great name, guys. But Matrevsky leads the way there in second, just up in front.
Sean, I would think the BMW, who suffers from top-end speed, probably wouldn't mind this one as this track. Probably doesn't fit so badly for the BMW. Some fast sweeping corners like it does with the downforce.
I don't think it does, but unfortunately these drivers share a different opinion. There aren't a lot of BMWs in this field soon. This is a collection of Audis and Mercs, basically. I think now we have 2 BMWs in the top 10.
Bill, you were talking about certain teams needing to have a decent finish to get themselves off the bubble. Torrent was one of those teams, and third right now that was on the bubble graphic.
My appetite is so wet to watch the real series when it starts up April 15th. You get real familiar with these guys, and we're only seeing the guys trying to qualify.
Absolutely.
When this thing starts for real, this is going to be something else.
Even more fierce, I would have to imagine. Because at that point, then you've got $10,000 on the line.
That'll catch your attention.
Throw money into the mix, and everything changes, boys.
Absolutely. Well, as these guys continue on, there's a little bit of a close battle farther back down. Dado Opasak and Simone Maria Marceno, currently 14th, 15th, and 16th. Joel Guez just up in front of them as they tighten up down into the hairpin. Everybody accordioning together, easy for me to say, and then stretching back apart.
According to Joe Peak.
You would know the technical terms better than I would, Bill, on the accordion part.
So actually a former accordion teacher.
These guys very tightly packed together as Joel leads the way. We were watching this battle not long ago. He's staying unflappable up at the front. Simone trying to get as wide an entry as possible through Ford corner, and it doesn't help him as they still stay single file down into Dunlop.
Soup, as we're here in Germany, I'm curious, would you be tempted to bring out the Lederhosen and the accordion at the same time?
For all the Germans watching right now, Hohner is you know them as the manufacturer of harmonicas here in the U.S., but they are a huge accordion manufacturer, and they hail from Germany.
I did not
Better
know
than
that.
a Hohner accordion, yeah.
Well, I was thinking of exactly Hohner, and I started with harmonica and changed off to accordion, as I'm familiar with that also. Yeah, they've been around forever.
Well, both reed instruments, pushing air in and pushing air out. That's why they do it. You never know what kind of information you're going to get when you watch a GSRC broadcast.
Well, I see Bruno De Carmo heading back into the pits once again. He was already multiple laps down. I think iRacing Brazil, yes, they are calling it a day, and they have retired the car.
They just never got off to a great start there. Trouble early, obviously, and I don't think they have any interest in riding around in the back all day, Joe.
That's sad to see. They've had such a good run for most of the season. We've seen them fighting for podiums pretty much every broadcast we've given.
Looks like teammate Nato Maciamento is not going to get a chance to get in that car.
Always a bad feeling knowing that you're the first in the car and you can't hand it off to your teammate, and they didn't get a single lap in. Meanwhile, watching our leader, who's gotten plenty of laps in, Jesus Cecilia, just looks unbothered by the rest of the field. Question is, when is he going to be hitting traffic? This is a decently long course. With a slightly smaller field, should be less of a problem today.
And the back of the pack, he's not going to get to a real swarm of cars for quite a while. He can pick them off one at a time.
Boy, I see, Soup, I see a lot of patience out here right now. A lot of jockeying for position. A lot of guys just kind of staying in line, taking care of the car here. 30 minutes into this race, so long to go yet. And, taking care of the car is the order of the day. We saw several cars have trouble early, but it has really settled down now.
Not a lot of passing moves here up at the sharp end that we've been watching for much of the time. If you're just joining us, Philippe Matrevsky, Marius Golombek, Wyatt Gooden, Angelo Michel, Juan E. Lopez, Andrew Rodriguez, and Jonas Wallmeyer all in a train from 2nd to 8th that we've been following on screen here.
Juan E. Lopez related to Bunny Carlos, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if anybody gets that. I'm sorry. Bad reference.
I must be a little too young for that one.
I was hoping Soup would have my back on that one.
No, that one missed me as well, but I'm sure we have a big audience. I'm sure there's a sprinkling of people who got that one. If you did, go ahead and give us a tweet, GSR channel.
At GSR. There's
GSR.
no doubt in there. Not on Twitter.
You can tell. I got to talk to Donald Trump, figure out how to use my Twitter.
That would be the drummer for Cheap Trick. I'll just go ahead and let everybody know now. Okay,
there we go.
I want you to want me. There we go.
Back to the racing on track. You know, one thing that we haven't talked about yet is pit stop strategy. I don't think fuel should really be an issue since this isn't a super high-speed course, but you have to wonder if anybody maybe will try something different on tires.
Yeah, that's probably why I was wondering if Cecilia out there just running away with it, if he had to worry maybe if he was just using up too much fuel, but probably, he probably can just run full 100% or whatever he feels comfortable racing without having to worry about making it a splash and go for a third stop at the end. Tires, that's a different situation. I would think probably a change every time. 2 hours is a long way to go, Sean, if you were going to try to do it. I would think every time, but maybe you could not do it the first stint and get track position, hold on that second, and then do it at the very end. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know, Soup. You're doing a lot of sliding around out here, a lot of hard braking, and some really tight corners. I think you're going to be screaming for tires at the end of a run, to be honest with you. We're already starting to see the rubber build up on this track just a little bit. I think tires are going to be a premium here. I also think it's going to be a big difference in the times. as we start to look throughout the run here and start to look at the times as we settle in here, just over 30 minutes now. I think that'll start to give you an idea of what will happen to these tires over a run.
On screen, we were watching Lucas Yustat. You see a little bit of damage on the front of his car. If you've been watching, you already know what happened, but if you're just joining us, that came from a little bit of contact helping the rear of the Mikko Niittymaaki's car rotate through the final hairpin. And since then, Yustat's trying to make up a few spots that he lost and having to take evasive action.
I don't know, Sean. I think maybe I would be tempted. Let's say I'm running back there 15, 16, 17, not making up any ground, to come in. Now I'm not going to take two. I'm going to do it with none because I don't want to mess up the balance of my car. But maybe I don't take them. I get up some spots and then I play defense for an hour, and then come in and take. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tries it.
Here we see Mikko Niittymaki also having to make up quite a few spots. He came out the worst of it.
Nicky Trim for Team Tim DK. This spun it.
Boy, spun it and hit it hard. Soup gets a little bit too much curb, I'm thinking maybe here. Off to the left is where he'll catch that the left side tires will grab the curb and then shoots it straight back across the track to the right. Just loses it there. Ooh. Hard hit in the pits. Took the toe.
It's funny, I was just going back to see maybe somebody that might be interested in maybe taking the no-tire strategy. Clearly that wasn't going to work for him because he had trouble with 4. But
so we go on board for the replay. Now, he did hit the tire barrier, so that should have softened the blow somewhat, but I guess it was enough that he didn't think he could drive it back.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard shot, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm suspecting there was front-end damage, suspension damage that had that wheel probably not pointing in the right direction, to be honest with you.
He's having a good run. That's too bad.
Well, this is a driver who very much is having a good run, Jesus Cecilia. We keep checking in on him, but really nothing happening with Jesus for this whole race. He's just holding his own.
Hey, guys, back to 17th. Battle still going on. Simon Trendell really trying to hold off Mikko Niittymaki right now. Niittymaki is charging down into turn 1. He almost tried to duck it in there, and he had to back out. Simon doing a good job of fending him off, playing good defense. Jeremy Lemire right in the thick of that battle. These 4 cars, Alex Q back there behind them for the Dream Factory 2 machine. These 4 cars are really slugging it out right now.
You have to feel for Simon Trendell. He's got 2 cars that are trying to make up ground, that are out of position of what they'd normally be according to pace, and desperately wanting their way around Mikko Niittymaki. Not too worried about the nitty-gritty right now, just wants to chuck it in and see what sticks. As they work their way through the S's, he could get an opportunity if he gets a run down to turn 13, but nothing doing there, as he's going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, that uphill left-hander that they just went through, really tough to make a move there. You're heading uphill, and it's a little bit blind, Joe.
Can be difficult. Oh, look at this. He's got a great run. The draft is reeling him in. Simon goes defensive, holds just about the middle of the road, comes back to the line, and they're going to have to stay all line astern through the chicane. Now up to the hairpin, and they are starting to really stack up behind him as Jeremy Lanyard gets up close behind. Mikko Niittymaki gets a great run as Niittymaki loses traction coming out of the corner, goes defensive down to the inside, leaves him no room to the pit wall, has to go to the outside as Jeremy tries to outbrake him. He's going to have to go the long way around, goes in very deep, almost gets into the back of Simon Trendell, but he gets it done.
He does. What a move by the Team GTNF driver. That Audi keeps pressing forward, Joe. Just keeps pressing up through the field. That's another spot down.
That offered just a brief respite for Simon Trendell as the cars behind him swap position, but now he's got an anxious Jeremy Lamier right down, breathing his neck. Heading through Valvoline, now up into Ford. Another good opportunity if Jeremy can get himself a good exit. And it looks like they're going to be dead even. And all this excitement that Lamier has taken that GTNF machine through, he's still only up to 18th. He's barely halfway through the field.
Yeah, but he's conquered half the field, and Joe, it's, been 38 minutes. That's, in a 3-hour race, that's not bad. I like his chances right now. He keeps moving. He's heading in the right direction.
Well, it's going to get harder and harder as he goes. The sharp end is going to prove a much harder ask.
Kind of like American Ninja Warrior, you know? It's that next level is always tougher to complete.
That's my team that's not taking tires. That's my team. Get them up. Get them up. Do what you can for an hour and then take them on that last stint. We'll see. I'm begging anybody out there, somebody prove me right. Somebody go with their tires that first stop.
Make Bill feel good, please. All right, and here we go. Jeremy with another great exit coming out of the hairpin. This is where he did it last time, and it's going to be same thing as before. Has to go around the long way as Simon goes to the inside. Not quite good enough on the brakes. They make side-to-side contact. This could be an opportunity for the car behind. Miko tries to make it 3 wide, but nothing doing there. And with the inside of the next corner, it finally goes to Jeremy. Let's watch that replay. My goodness. These guys not afraid to trade some paint. Let's go on board Trindle and see what his view was. As we look back, and there's the contact. Had to be getting a little bit nervous with Miko coming up around the outside, if you can even pay attention to that and all the excitement. So that changes the order. Jeremy Lamier now up to 17th. Simon Trindle down to 18th. Miko Nidimaki down to 19th. And behind it all, Alex Q has had front row seats to the show.
You know, one thing we haven't even really talked about yet, I know it's got to come into play here at some point. A lot of these drivers out here might be feeling a little bit of fatigue early today, Joe. We're just hours removed from the completion of the iRacing Daytona 24-hour event, and many of these drivers, if not all of them, took some part or a large part in that event. And like I said, we're just a few hours removed from that event completing. So gotta wonder if some of these drivers may be working on very, very little sleep, but I know some of our commentators are.
That's for sure. But, you know, if their team was smart and they had to have known, because they've been investing in this qualifying series for a number of months, they had to have known, okay, the race is today, let's schedule one of our drivers or our driver who's taking part first, the opening stint here in this race, let's keep them off the calendar, you know, in the final, 12 hours of the 24. Let's give them some rest.
Yeah, but then you have those individuals who just can't say no. So it's like, oh, sure, I can do it. Put me in.
That's when whoever is the crew chief on the box says, nope, you are staying out of the car.
Well, one of the people here in the GSRC booth did the triple header here. Was a driver, was a crew chief, and an announcer. And it wasn't me or Joe.
You know what? I got saved from driving duty, Soup. I hadn't.
I didn't know that.
I did. Yeah, one of our teammates from Australia, old Michael Gray, the racing kangaroo.
Racing kangaroo came in. Good for him.
Yeah, he decided to get up in what was the middle of the night for him and get in and save me. I did not want to take the wheel of a second place car. Sorry, I just didn't feel good about that.
Well, let's go to second, Joe, because they've ran down the second place car that was starting to pull away.
I was just noticing that. We saw it on screen, and actually here's a little bit of a look from Marius Golombek. He's feeling the pressure to maybe move forward, perhaps thinking that Wyatt Gooden is not going to wait around much longer.
Exactly. Gooden applying the pressure on him. Time to get a little busy here, and they are starting to put the pressure on Matrevsky here to get moving.
You know, Sean, we've done enough of these races to kind of get the modus operandi here. Sometimes these guys have been running in this order from the very beginning. But as the stint goes on, as they get a little closer to when they're going to come in, that's when things start to heat up. And I think that's what's going on right now. All of a sudden, these guys are looking a little more frisky.
Sometimes you need to change the scenery, Soup, and you get tired of looking at the rear end of that car in front of you. You decide, you know what? Time to get moving here. Let's go look for something new. And you've also been learning all these laps that you put in already here. These 20 plus laps. You've been learning what that guy in front of you, what he's doing, and where he's going to be on the track. So now maybe it's time to apply some of that learning and make a move.
And I thought that Philip Matrevsky had gone wide into Dunlop, but it looks like he was just squaring off the corner. But man, for a moment, Marius Golombek had a glance at maybe ducking the car inside. In the meantime, we understand that Mikko Niittymaki has brought the car in. I'm not sure if this is scheduled, though. He's already back out for Black Star Gemini.
Maybe he thinks he came in as early as he could, the very front of the window, to get some damage fixed. But Sean, boy, that would be really the front of the window. I don't know if he can go. Maybe with 2 hours and 16 minutes, he'd have to go an hour and 8. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but that certainly wasn't a very long stint. You would have to think. I honestly, Soup, I'm on the side of thinking something else was going on there. That car needed to come in.
Go ahead, Joe.
We're hearing that it was a short pit stop, so maybe they're making you happy here, Bill. Could have gone without tires.
That's how you get back in the game. If your girlfriend has left you, you got to do something special to catch her attention, and that's what you're going to do. You're going to come in, not take tires, and all of a sudden you're back in the mix. And you know, one thing, just to hammer that point through, and it's half to just go ahead and commentate and half pleading for somebody else to try this strategy. The track temperature here today is really, really cool in this late afternoon German sun. It's only 68 degrees out there right now. The track temperature, what did I look at there, was 73 Fahrenheit. So
Team Chimera has come in. Ben Tusting getting in the car to take over for Trindell. Remember, these guys had a little bit of contact as well, so I'm not sure if this is the dominoes falling or just anybody who had contact coming in as early as possible. As to whether or not they can make it to the end, well, when we hit an hour and 8 minutes to go, we'll know.
Plus, Sean, if you were not going to do tires, you'd want to do it on your short stint. So, in theory, you take your short stint. That way, you're only running on tires, on old tires for 1 3/4 stint instead of a full 2 stints.
Yeah, right. In the short stint scenario, wow, say that 100 times. Yeah. That's going to be your window to say, let's keep the tires on and keep digging here. Nobody been digging too hard yet. I think you're good if you do that. And Soup, you get the prize there for no tire strategy.
We'll see if it works.
Yes, we will. Got to watch the times. Jonas Vollmeyer making his way in.
Yeah, has headed in. But man, this train up at the front as we watch Vollmeyer, it was getting so close, and they had some lap traffic actually they were working past. That was Matthew Katila for Extreme Motorsports, who dutifully got out of the way, but not before causing a few held breaths as guys worked by through the hairpin. And this has caused everyone to just come right back together, and still at the front of this train, it's Philip Matrevsky.
Looking ahead at the 54 machine now, is that the car that came in and took a stop? Let me see if that is correct on that one. So that's good news for Ben Tusting right now, as maybe we'll see if he's going to be faster than, well, but maybe they didn't take tires. Okay, they did. Let's hope that Ben can stay out in front of this train that's coming.
Fresh boots should help him put the laps in. There you can see Philip working his way towards him. We'll get a sense of it pretty soon. Oh my goodness, these guys are so close. I keep keeping an eye on it because I think someone is going to make it past soon.
They're running them down quick. I got to be honest with you. Philip Matrevsky leading that field right there. That is one fast train, baby. Bullet train to Tokyo.
Seems appropriate with Shinya Machimi. It sounds very Japanese to me. But regardless, let's see if they can gun him down. Tusting's kind of holding his own for Chimera. And now that the tires should have warmed up a bit, although they do have tire warmers, in the GT3 cars here in this series. A little bit of a peek from Marius Golombek. Once again, looking to the inside, down into the first turn, but not a serious attempt on Matrevsky. Just stays in line.
GT3 cars have everything, man. All those creature comforts just drive me crazy. I've heard they've even got an 8-track player in there. Yeah,
well, there you go. That'll make it go fast. Because you want to try to get to where you're going before your tape breaks.
That's for the older gentleman drivers, right?
Yes, for the gentleman drivers, exactly. Yes.
Oh, look at this. Oh, Marius has got a great run on Philip this time, heading down to the Dunlop hairpin. Philip feels the pressure as he goes defensive, only slightly, though. Didn't pull it completely over, but look at the effect that this is having. The dominoes are falling, and everybody is coming together.
Boy, Wyatt Gooden sitting right there licking his chops, man. Just watching that battle unfold in front of him, said, "Let me through. You two muck it up, and I'm going to take it from you."
I'm surprised how patient everyone behind is being. I would think that we'd see more attempts, especially having been stuck behind him for quite a while. Once again, everybody very close, but it looks like, oh, actually, maybe we're going to see Angelo Michel have a go at Wyatt Gooden, as Gooden didn't get a great exit coming out of the corner. Down into the chicane, everybody stays single file. Oh, a little bit wide at the hairpin for Philip once again, but unfortunately, it's not the place that you want to catch him from, so Marius had nowhere to go. Things are getting tense. Here comes Angelo once again down to the inside of Gooden. Can't quite make it work. Almost contact between the drivers. They get to within inches of one another into the braking of the first hairpin. Who is going to break first? That is the question. Angelo manages to sneak on the inside of Wyatt Gooden. The track switches back. Can Gooden finally slam the door on him? He tries to. He runs out of room. Angelo goes off to the grass to try and get by him. It's going to switch back into Valvoline, and I think Angelo's got it done.
Wow, and Gooden even tracks out a little bit wide there. Gooden playing a little bit of defense, but Michel doing a really good job of not having any give there. Let's go on board with Michel and that Huskenfeld 4 Motorsports machine.
This was brave stuff. Look at how late he stuck his nose in. Surprise attack. And he knew it was going to switch back here. He carried the momentum as much as he could. Oh, wow. And sawing at the wheel to try and save it, and still managed to get by that Steel Series car. It's a little early to call the move of the race, but Angelo is up in the running for that one, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to keep that one in mind. I just made a little note to myself about that one. Not used to seeing Wyatt Gooden get pushed around a little bit like that.
Yeah. Curious to see what he has to say about that now that he has a chance to respond. In fact, just in front of them, it's not over, and if the two of Philip and Marius start battling, they could back themselves into the 4 cars behind and cause more chaos. We'll have to wait and see. Marius with a decent run coming out of the final hairpin. Up to the first hairpin. Is he going to look to the inside? Yes, he does. Tries to outbrake him. Gets just a little bit of a nose in, and he touches. Philip moves to the outside. Keeps it going. Manages to fend off Angelo. A little bit of short track chrome horn action from Marius Golombek to try and get that second place. Oh, and we've got more stuff happening now as we watch the replay. Let's stay on this. Stay on Philip. Angelo tried to pull the move again as they came into turn 3. You're going to see it coming up here. Thought he could repeat the same action. Just stuck a nose in. Oh, actually, no. It looks like Philip got loose is what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Matrevsky just, the front end just got a little evil on him right there. And
here's on board Wyatt looking at that same incident. Did not expect the check up, and pow. Boy, I was talking about that domino effect, and very much so. As soon as one thing happens, it all starts to erupt around you. Philip managed to limit the damage, though, as he's only down to third from second place. Already lost contact to Marius Golombek, who's got a 1.3 second advantage over the Shinya Machimi Sim Racing Yellow Audi.
Well, guys, let me tell you, you can stay on this battle because I can do this. There's nothing to watch what I'm about to talk about. But my dad's looking down on me right now from the Great Beyond, smiling, because he used to call it the early peel, late reveal. The guy we have to watch out for, the team we got to keep an eye on, is Pure Racing Team Blue. Right now it has Maximilian Venig in there. They were running at the tail end. They were the caboose of that train we were watching. They came in early. They took tires. They are running about 0.7 of a second faster than that train that you guys are watching up here. What's going to happen is they came in for the early peel. When all those other guys come in, the late reveal is I think Maximilian is going to be in second place when this is all said and done. Keep an eye on these guys right now. There's no traffic. They are putting down some good times.
Trying to use that alternate strategy to get that 004 up a little bit higher. They saw a train of cars and a lot of headache on trying to get through and see if they can work it through strategy to maybe overtake them. Meanwhile, we're looking at Angelo Michel, who's certainly been using that car to as much as he can to try and overtake. See what he can do on Philip Matrevsky now that he's managed to get past Wyatt Gooden.
You know, just up in front of them, Ben Tusting has done a good job of keeping them behind him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's still holding them off, turning some pretty decent laps right now. That Mercedes doing pretty good after that pit stop.
I will say, though, now that Golombek has been freed, I think he's starting to gain on him. Because remember, he had to battle to get to that second position, which would have lost him some time. And he looks a little bit closer than Philip was before, so this makes me wonder what the lap times are looking like between those two. We'll get a sense here in a moment as Golombek gets ready to cross the line. His last one at 152.4. Tustin is running 152.8 the last two laps. This pass made by Marius could be decisive.
Yeah, Marius about 0.3 to 0.4 faster and is starting to close that gap just a bit. Tustin will be under attack here real soon.
Let's go back to Venig in 22nd spot as he scythes his way through some of these back markers. Overtaking another position now, moves himself into 21st past Christian Correa. That's an enter iRacing.
And you know, the pass for second that just happened there, that has a bigger effect because with Torrent Motorsports out there now running those faster laps, that's going to make it harder for the 004 car to get up there. He was faster than the 93 machine, but not so with the new second place driver.
And to be fair to Ben Tustin, we're hearing that Team Chimera is struggling with a little bit of damage that happened when Trindle got hit. So that those fresh tires would have worked, but unfortunately, sounds like that GT3 car is not up to optimal speed.
Yeah, a little bit of right side damage on Tusting's car there could be affecting the performance of the machine just a bit. But still hanging on, guys. Still hanging on. Here comes Golombek now. They head back down the front straight across the start-finish line.
But the good news, Sean, is for Tusting is they Golombek, they got that thing sorted out. They're not, the train that's coming is not as close to coming off the rails as it was before. Things have settled down back there.
Well, somewhat. They are still pretty close. Andrew Rodriguez was sizing up Juan Lopez at the tail of the train and had no opportunity down into turn one. And those guys, once again, very close to Wyatt Gooden. That BMW is not looking too hot. It got passed by Angelo Michel and isn't able to stay right on the tail of that Audi. So I wonder if maybe Wyatt is struggling.
Well, he's the only BMW up there in that mix, and well, there may be a reason that they stayed away from the BMW today. I'm not quite sure, but Gooden, the only one, seemed to be able to keep it up front there, but as you said, struggling just a bit. He is got a mirror full of Juan Lopez right now.
Remember, they have to pick the car at the start of the season. They can't swap them around, so when they chose it wasn't just for today, it was for the overall. They felt it was best. For whatever reason they chose. He gets a great run. Actually, a horrible run from Juan Lopez. He must have got a slowdown.
Yeah.
He lets Andrew Rodriguez through as Rodriguez goes a little wide through the left-hander. Oh, this could be an opportunity for Lopez to come back at him. He's got to run off the corner. Gets right into the draft. They're going to go through the kink. Is he going to duck to the left side here? A little bit of a defensive line, a lot of a defensive line from Rodriguez. Comes back for the chicane, and they're going to stay single file.
I think that was a case of all of a sudden Rodriguez found himself, hey, wait, I'm in 6th. And he kind of missed the apex of the next corner and almost gave it back. Now those guys are close to losing touch. They have fallen back. Gooden now in 5th has about a 1.2 second lead over those guys.
Big sigh of relief under the helmet of Wyatt Gooden, as now for at least a little bit, he can focus on Angelo Michel and getting that 4th place back from him. Michel, in the meantime, has just been continuing to focus on Philippe Matrevsky, who since being demoted to 3rd place continues to drop back. Let's go to 8th place though, because Samuel Libert and David Perez in a nice little battle. Ooh, big moment for Libert there. Almost gives an opportunity Perez, but he decides not to take it. A little bit of loss of traction, I think.
24 spots. Looking to be 25.
Impressive stuff.
Yeah, Libert actually tried to pull away.
Let's check back in on the 004 of Venig. He's gained 1 more spot since we last looked at him. He's in 20th. Next in line for him is Fabio Iotti. He's got about a second up the road to try and run him down. Considering the pace that we're seeing in that pure racing blue car, I think he's going to have him sooner rather than later.
The problem that he faces, though, now, because this is a pass for position, and compared to the guys that he's actually racing, when they're making a pass on slower traffic, that traffic is being shown the blue flag. Fabio's not as likely to get out of the way to let Venig by. He has no clue that Venig's on an alternate pit strategy. He's just racing for position.
Any team worth their salt, and I mean, Sean may be able to attest to this, has whoever they have on the box is aware and knows what Max is up to and can inform him whether or not he should fight him hard.
That's assuming everybody has Sean on the box.
I don't know about that, but yeah, definitely. It certainly helps, and you want to be informed. Listen, these endurance races, and especially in this series, these are very, very well-organized teams, and trust me, somebody's up there is watching, somebody's keeping track, and you know what you definitely know what your competitor is up to.
Well,
Okay,
here
Fabio.
comes Max.
Yeah, don't let me down now. Put up a battle now. Prove some right.
Oh, he ducked to the inside a little bit there. Let's see if he stays to the left side, and yes, he does. So he wants to try and slow him up. Oh, no, he lifts. Never mind. You almost had it, Bill.
Yeah, that was looked like a defensive. Oh, he's coming in. See, that's why he did that. Now, Sean, we've gone past the 1 hour mark, so now we're getting into that. We were thinking 1 hour and 8 minutes would be the max if we were thinking that early stops that some of the guys were making. So this will let us know if they can get to 1 hour and 8 minutes. Then everyone was still on their pit strategy. They came on really early.
Yeah, I think that window is starting to open here soon, as we see now we're just over 2 hours. We're kind of getting into that 108 window now.
VEC Sim Racing Yellow has had a new driver step in, Michael Dalval, but sounds like fourth place may have had a battle. Oh, no, it looks like they're coming in. And Michelle.
Oh, boy, they almost got together as Mitrovetsky was trying to woe it up there. Michelle almost got into the backup, so here they come.
Well, he's got a friend joining him, actually. He's taken... is that the slowdown cone? I think it is. I don't know.
That'll help you slow down, huh?
Definitely creating a little aero drag there in the pit lane.
He's going to want to shake that thing off soon.
Guys, I've been watching a battle develop here for 13th. Jordi Clara in command of 13th, but man, Simone Maria Marceno, Crestmaster Vivano Black really threatening that position and wants it. Those two Mercedes very, very close together here for many laps. And Simone looking for an opportunity, hasn't quite found it yet. Taking a couple of risks, but then backed out, playing it smart. There's still a lot of time to get this move pulled off, but it is a good battle.
All right, Philippe Mitrevsky heads out of the pits, but Angelo Michel is still in there. Could be some damage that he's trying to fix.
And here comes the 104. Now, there also could have been a slowdown penalty there. Remember, we talked about the 104. They're going to get around one of those cars that made the stop.
Did Mitrevsky take tires?
Right, that's what I wanted to look and see.
We know that Michel did. We've got that confirmed, but we're hearing that the timing looks like Mitrevsky may have not. So this is hard to judge then, because we have a car that may have had a slowdown penalty or a speeding penalty in the pits for Michel. It allowed Venig to get as far ahead as he did. And then we had another driver who didn't take tires.
Samuel Libert is in, guys. Apex Racing Simulators, that car coming in now. Yep, Radicals
and
Online said why couldn't bringing it in.
And I can confirm absolutely did not take tires. So somebody thought that might be a call.
Well, we said there would be teams that needed to take a risk today to get themselves into the points to get into the proper endurance series for 2017. And we're seeing it through strategy. Now, Wyatt Gooden might be a little bit better of a yardstick to measure against Maximilian Venig and his early stop. Wyatt Gooden now exiting his pit stall. Where's Venig? Venig is still a ways back. Did Gooden take tires, actually?
We'll see.
Actually, he came out ahead of Mitrevsky. So Gooden managed to... No tires for Gooden either. A number of drivers trying this out. And he gets himself up a position.
That's one way to pick it off.
Now, Sean, if our leader tries this no tire strategy, I'm going to slap him, because this is get 4 tires in your fastest car out there. No need to fool around. But what I think that these guys might do now, the guys who aren't taking tires, I think they're going to put their short stint in the middle.
Leader is in. Jesus Cecilia is in the pit, guys. Coming down the lane now.
All right, Jesus. Nice long stop. 4 fresh tires. Nice full fuel. Don't get fancy.
Marius Golombek has also headed in from second place.
Lucas Justat and Jacob Brzezinski are in. Peter Ragnar Simulator coming on in.
Pit lane getting to be a very busy place right now.
Yes, sir. Very busy. Half a dozen cars in just on this lap alone. More coming.
You can see Joel Quez comes in for Gecko Vortex Blue. So who is our highest pitter so far? It's going to be Jesus Cecilia in a moment. Looks like Wyatt Gooden is our highest car who has finished his first pit stop.
He was up there with the leaders, had a quick stop, didn't take tires.
The top 5 still on track, have not stopped yet.
And Gooden actually, he goes past Jesus, so I think Cecilia is taking tires for Dar Contigo. Julian Grunestell gets in the MSP Drivers 1 car with a little bit of damage on it, but no tires for them.
Yes, the 43 car took nice long stop, took tires. When you're the prettiest girl at the dance, you don't need to dress sexy. Just go ahead, take your tires and let your reputation do it for you.
Well, that's assuming some of these guys who didn't take tires wind up ahead of him. You have to wonder if maybe Jesus will respond and not take tires in the final stint. Because otherwise, he might have to pass them on track.
Yeah, give me Jesus, and let's go ahead. We'll give you that interval, what he has to make up now between him and Gooden, which are really the two guys that are racing right now.
Well, no, he's got a few other drivers ahead of him. Philip Matrevsky managed to jump him, and Julian Grunestell both have completed their pit stops and are ahead of Jesus. So a few drivers have managed to use strategy to their advantage. Now, here's what's interesting. We're pretty sure that Vinnig took tires, did he not?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, he's only 4 seconds behind Jesus. So there you go. There's that. Something throwing a wrench in our following of the complex story that is...
I'm loving it.
Our Ulysses of strategy that is today.
Sean, drivers in different spots on the track on different tires with different... I love it.
Well, right now, our leader is Andrew Rodriguez, but he has yet to take his stop. He's led a single lap. He leads Simone Maria Marceno, who is in second, also yet to stop. And then next car in line is our first driver to take his pit stop, Wyatt Gooden. Once these guys all complete their stops, we'll try and go through the order once again, get you up to speed. And if you're just joining us, once again, this is the final round of the Blancpain Endurance Series on iRacing. This is the qualifiers for the proper Blancpain GT Series, which will offer a big cash prize at the end of 2017. Andrew comes in for his pit stop.
Sean, they ran that an hour 10, so that's what you could really do. It's a long stint.
Yes, it is indeed. I'm following Jesus Cecilia right now. He's as he obviously comes out of that pit stop and gets back on his attack for the lead. Back in sixth now.
Now Simone and the Thrustmaster Movano team seems to have elected to try and stretch it as far as they can go.
Yeah, they've been out for a while now.
Yeah, I'd say to you guys' point earlier, this is confirmation that a minute and 8 is doable. Hour and 8, rather.
Yeah, we've eclipsed that now. Is Smoke keeping it out there on track now for working on 38 laps?
Odox Motorsports takes 4 fresh ones. Wyatt Gooden is going to have to wait one more lap before he gets a lap lead on his stats. Jesus Cecilia manages to overtake Julian Grunestell. The lack of tires showing, even though it gets you ahead, it's not quite able to hold off the fastest car on track.
And Grunestell dealing with a little bit of damage on that hurt.
True, remember that's MSP Drivers Home 1. I believe that was the car that made contact in the final hairpin with Trindell, if I'm not mistaken.
Sean, I'm looking at these stop times, and I'm seeing the cars that took no tires. They're around 33, somewhere between 33 and 40 seconds. I'm looking at the cars that took full fuel, and like our Cecilia was in there from cone to cone for a minute 10 seconds. Or no, in his box for a minute and 10 seconds. Then there's Vinnick, who was in there for 57 seconds. I wonder. I've seen this done before. I've seen drivers only take 2. I wonder if maybe he took 2 tires. Oh, he pitted. Okay, our director is very smart. He pitted early, so it's going to be less fuel for him to take. That's why. Thank you, director.
Don't question the doctor of pit's topology, Bill.
Oh, he is the
You've
doctor
learned that
of
by
pit's
now.
topology. He is. That's right.
All right, finally, Simone Maria Marceno comes in, the Thrustmaster Movano Mercedes. And is he going to stay in the car? Looks like he is not leaving, so no driver change for them. And as Wyatt Gooden comes the line, he finally leads a lap here in the final round. Philip Matrevsky coming along, and we'll get that interval soon. Looks like just about 9 seconds, almost 10 seconds between himself and Gooden.
Yeah, and Matrevsky is now under attack from Cecilia. He's made his way to him. They've got the car of Michael Dalaval just in front of them. They're sitting back at 26th place right now. But Cecilia has found another position to take.
Up onto the podium now. If he can just get ahead, he does not have to worry about whether or not he takes tires with these other drivers around, just stalking behind Matrevsky's Shinya Machimi car. Coming through Valvoline, down the hill, plunging into Ford. And look at how close behind he's getting. Might have an opportunity here. They've got some lap traffic of Michael Dalval just ahead of him. He's going to pull off to the side, causes a little bit of a pucker moment for those guys, but they managed to navigate it.
Yeah, he decided to get out of the way a little late to DJ.
And if I'm not mistaken, Dalval was one of those drivers in the Daytona 24, so he has hopped over from Florida here to Germany. And here comes a look from Jesus Cecilia down into the left-hander. Nothing doing there.
He thought about it.
Maybe just giving him a little bit of a, hey, I'm here.
You know, every now and then you notice something interesting about a paint job. That Dark Antigo race team, I believe that's a bit of a tribute on the door there to
Oh, and now he looks to the inside down to the chicane. We've seen that go south quickly, and he decides better of it. I think that's a smart move by Jesus. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have the paint scheme that you have, Sean.
That's strange, and I thought I saw it on screen just a little while ago, so maybe the paints are acting up, not sure, but
all right,
Jesus on the hammer, guys.
Yeah,
Down
one more go. Look into the inside, into the hairpin. He's got a nose in this time. How hard is Philip going to fight? Not hard at all. Goes wide, lets him through, and move Jesus up into P2.
Yeah, he just let him have it. Really didn't put up much of a fight at all. Probably, well, I guess he could tell by the pace that Jesus has already had early on.
Oh, Grunestell has problems. The no tires seems to have bit him. No, actually not. It's not the tires.
Into him.
That had nothing to do with tires.
Venig helped him along. Let's watch on the replay. And his charge through the field stuck his nose in aggressively. As Bill likes to say, not the best of presentation.
Yeah, the only tires involved there was Vinnick being tired of following him.
Well, that does move the 004 up into 4th position. And we see the onboard. It's hard to put a positive spin on that one.
Places to go. He has a plan.
Now remember Vinnick did take tires, although the shine has worn off of them by now, but it seems like they were fresh enough that it allowed him that pace advantage. He didn't want to wait around.
Let me give you this interval. Mark it down on your charts, boys and girls. With 1:43, it is a 9.5 second lead between Gooden to back to Cecilia. Boy, those are some big names there.
All right, we've completed all the pit stops at this point with the top runners, so let's go through our order. Gooden is your leader. As Bill just mentioned, about 9 seconds between himself and the 43 of Jesus Cecilia in second place. You've got another about a second and a half to Philip Matrevsky back in third in the number 93 for Shinya Machimi Racing Yellow. Then Maximilian Venig recently taking the 4th spot, a little bit contentiously, for Pure Racing Team Blue. Julian Grunestell did not lose more than that single position and is bumped down to 5th place in the number 27. Behind them, about 1.5 seconds back, Juan Lopez for Vindeval Sim Racing White in 6th. Then back in the 7th position, Jordi Clara in the Dream Factory machine. In fact, where did they start? I want to say they were farther back, from 20th to 6th for Dream Factory. Nicely done by them. Back in 8th position, Angelo Michel has been slipping backwards. He was in the top 5 earlier. That Heusingfeld Core Motorsports machine now a little bit farther back. In 9th, it's Kevin Siggy. Torrent Motorsports BES is the car that he is driving. And then rounding out the top 10, it's Andrew Rodriguez for Odox Motorsports.
Ooh, Andrew having a close moment there, getting by some lap traffic. Almost makes contact through the turn there.
Gustavo Conde having to get out of the way.
Yeah, the Enter iRacing PES1 car for Conde there. That was close. Just as you were talking about it there, Jeff.
And all the drivers on the even numbers have taken tires. Dark Contigo is 2nd, Pure Racing Team Blue in 4th, Vendaval.
Venig
overtakes Philip Matreski, yeah.
Just as I was talking about that, he didn't like my even number thing, so he messes that up.
And that was, interestingly, into the chicane. Very brave move. You're going to see it here. The blue machine of Venig looking to the inside. And I wonder if Matrevsky helped that a little bit, deciding he did not want to try and force a too-wide situation. Actually, was he flashing his lights there?
Again, that's used tires against the new tires.
Golly, I've seen enough flashing lights to last me a while after.
Tell me about
Daytona. Like strobe lights almost. They look like after a while.
You know, one thing we haven't touched on, though, Sean, in this tires versus no tires strategy is the why. And for our viewers not familiar with the Blancpain Endurance Series, this follows the real-world Blancpain Endurance Series rules of drivers cannot take tires at the same time they receive fuel. So they either have to choose if they want to take tires and extend the pit stop significantly. And it's the reason why this is such a big talking point for us.
Well, and the track not being quite as hard on the tires as I thought it would be, probably due to the temperatures. They are down a bit, not incredibly hot here. Track temperature only 73 degrees, so the times have dropped off a little bit, but not as significant as I thought we might have seen when we got this thing started here just an hour and 20 minutes ago.
Let's jump back to 12th place. Samuel Libert currently right up the tailpipe of Alex Q. Is he going to take a look down at the left-hander? He sticks his nose in, out breaks him into the corner, takes the apex, and gets it clean off. So moves Samuel Libert up into 11th now. Next on his list is going to be Andrew Rodriguez, just about 3 seconds up the road. That was the closest battle that we were seeing on track. Everybody's starting to get a little bit of space, but as we've seen, Bill, the no tires versus tires is mixing it up just a little bit, so I think things are going to be coming closer together for a few drivers in a moment.
And then it'll all switch back as they have one more stop to make. Very possible that these guys who took tires the first time won't do it next time. The guys who didn't take tires will the next time. We'll see.
David Perez closing up on the back of Mikko Niittymaki. Niittymaki's team not having it their own way during this race, as unfortunately Perez not getting good traction off of the hairpin, closes in mid-corner, gets right up behind Mikko Niittymaki's car, has nowhere to go, looks to the outside, almost gives him a glancing blow as they get very close into turn 3. Perez looking very anxious to make something happen in this battle. Gets a little bit of breathing room. Mikko Niittymaki now has about a car length between himself and Perez. They're coming up on lap traffic. That is Julian Affray just ahead of them. Oh no, that is not lap traffic. That is for position that they're gaining on. Nidimaki going wide once again through the hairpin, gives him enough space. Perez sticks his nose in. The track is going to switch back through the S's, lets him back into the line. Great defense from Miko in all of this. Clearly has the slower car of the two, but holding off Perez beautifully. One more opportunity for David Perez, coming off the right-hander, up the hill through the kink. Miko looking defensive once again, comes back to the line, and Perez stays behind. Ooh, bit of a bobble from Miko. Perez sticks his nose in, down into the final hairpin. Could be an over-under for Miko Nidimaki. Tries to get himself a run off the corner. He does. He's in the draft. David Perez, will he go defensive? He stays to the left side. Miko pulling the draft in. Now he goes to the inside. David Perez holding Miko Nidimaki off. Down to the first hairpin. Miko trying to get side by side, looking for the over-under. Now he's got a car coming up his inside. That is Jacob Brzezinski. Brzezinski not able to make anything happen, and they stay in order.
Yeah,
it took a few corners, but Perez finally makes it stick.
Now, Brzezinski, a driver we've seen repeatedly, guys, that is fast and knows how to handle that BMW. There he is, looking to make a move right there. The BMW charging on Nidimaki.
Should be good through that corner. Yeah, the BMW is going to be strong.
Yeah.
He's got it done. Looked a lot easier for him than it did for Perez, that's for sure.
While the feeder Ragnar simulator on the charge.
A little bit farther up, battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Julian Grunestel leads Jordi Clara and Angelo Michel. Michel on a great run coming out of the corner. Once again, we've seen cars not really anxious to get by. Oh, very much going defensive there. And now he lifts and lets him through. Moves Michel up into 7th.
And I think he has ideas about 6th as well, as he's coming up behind the MSP driver's home 1 machine. Look at that. There's a Mercedes out there. Sean running in 6th position.
Yes, sir.
Well,
ooh, Michel down to
It
the
was,
inside.
yeah. I was a little hesitant there, Bill.
I said he had ideas about 6th. I didn't think he was going to get it done quite so fast. My gosh.
The Audi puts himself in 6th. With that, we're going to take a short break. Wyatt Gooden is your leader by about 3 seconds over Jesus Cecilia. Then in 3rd, it's Maximilian Vinnick rounding out our podium. Stick around because we're going to have the racing on screen. But we'll be back in a moment to bring you any more battles. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel here at the Nürburgring, watching the final round of the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series. Hopefully you haven't stepped away for refreshment too long, because we got a battle for the lead brain. Wyatt Gooden just 3/10 ahead of Jesus Cecilia. He's run him down from 9 seconds. Jesus looking a little bit to the inside, down into Valvoline, but nothing doing quite yet. If Jesus is smart, he knows he's got the pace and he's got the time to try and work his way past Wyatt. Wyatt Gooden was further back in the field earlier on. Another little peak from Jesus Cecilia, but tire strategy, taking no tires on the first pit stop, has allowed that Radical Online Steel Series BMW to get up into the first position. Jesus Cecilia now right on top of him as they work through the S's. Stays with him. The dirty air making it tough to be as close behind as he was before. Sticks his nose in, just giving him a hello in his mirrors, as Wyatt Gooden continues to retain that first position. Wyatt in the red and white and black machine. White machine belongs to Jesus Cecilia. Drops back a bit as they come up the hill towards the chicane. I think Jesus is waiting for that first hairpin.
On a level playing field, it'd be tough for the BMW to stay out in front. Put it on old tires. It's gonna be rough.
He is now all over him. Jesus Cecilia gets the launch out of the corner, uses the draft, peeks to the inside of Wyatt Gooden. They're going to go side by side, gives them just enough room down into the braking. You can see the extra braking of that BMW keeping him alongside, but there's nothing to be able to hold back the force that is Jesus Cecilia, who moves that dark Contigo Audi up into first. Let's go farther back as Angelo Michel also in a little bit of a battle here with Philip Matrevsky. Angelo now up into fourth position.
And I think we have a. Do we have a? Was Matrevsky the one we had a replay of?
Yes, Matrevsky and Lopez got into an incident while we were on break. Let's bring up the replay to show our viewers what happened. This was some good side-by-side racing. It got pretty close, but both of us, both Sean and I, seem to agree that this was a little bit of net code. Don't think they actually touched from what we can see on our screens. It was at the absolute worst spot for Lopez. You can see that Vindobal Audi just slammed into the Armco.
And I mean, when I say net code, they were so close. I mean, it's the type of situation we call close racing that you wish you could pull off. Sometimes you see they did not touch. It looks like they did. Trust me, when you zoom in on that angle, which we didn't exactly right there, you still get a feeling for it with the angle we saw. There was actually no contact, but it does spin the car off, and heavy damage ensued from that.
We know, Sean, one of the things that's interesting, because I did an interview with Wyatt Gooden. Remember, he has real-world track experience. And I asked him, I flipped it around, I asked him, how does real-world track help your iRacing? And he said in the real world, I can race a lot closer because I know exactly where I am. He says he makes a point in sim racing that he leaves a cushion because he knows that ghost contact exists out there. So he doesn't race as close in the simulated world.
Speaking of close racing, 6th and 7th are very close right now, almost coming together. Kevin Siggy for Torrent Motorsports BES and Julian Krunestel swapping positions back and forth. Krunestel currently the car behind in red, white, and black. Looks to the inside, down into the hairpin, but Kevin Siggy manages to hold him off, crossing over lines as they go through just behind them. Jordi Clara in the popcorn position, waiting to see if one of them makes a mistake, gives them an opportunity. Clara closing up to the back of Krunestel now, but nothing doing through turns 2 as they all accordion together now through 3. Andrew Rodriguez now joins the train, and we got 4 cars.
You know, the Audi just seems to handle so much better through that section of the course, Joe. Really smooth. Maybe it's the driver, I don't know, but boy, that was awful good run there by Krunestel.
A bit of column A, a bit of column B, I think.
I'm sorry, by Siggy. Is Siggy really pulling away from them now after
Absolutely, looking very strong. Meanwhile, it looks like Clara was trying to have a go at Krunestel. Krunestel tried to give him the room, takes the apex back away from him, but these three now all within about half a second of one another. And they might have yet another car joining them. Samuel Liebert is in 10th, starting to close in on this three-way battle.
Now remember, the Audi that's chasing these guys, he's on fresh tires. The two Mercedes ahead of him are still on the same rubber that they started the race on. So, and here comes Clara taking a peek.
Makes contact as they all break down into the chicane. Manages to hold it together. Julian Grunestel getting the hurry up from Clara.
Not a good spot to get a little contact as you're entering the chicane.
And Clara just lost all kinds of traction trying to get on the power coming out of the final hairpin. Here comes Andrew Rodriguez down to the inside, but he's going to have to outbrake that Mercedes. Looking a lot stronger down to the inside. Can he get the job done? And he does it.
Audi just turns better down there, Joe. Just turns better in that right-hander every time.
And now here comes a BMW on fresh tires back there. Liebert makes that, gets around him as well, moves up into 9th.
Clara slipping further and further back, but Grunestel still not done with this because Rodriguez now looking to the outside. Julian taking the defensive line down into Valvoline. The track's going to switch back, but it looks like being out in the marbles just did not help Rodriguez as he falls back in line.
Yeah, car got a little loose there on him, actually. He was out in those marbles. It wiggled on him and lost a little bit of ground, but Rodriguez is on the charge. Here comes Odox Motorsports Samsung.
These four still relatively close together, although Clara is losing ground on these guys. Rodriguez right up the rear spoiler of Grunestel. See if he takes a look down into the left-hander. No, looks like Grunestel's going to stay defensive. Oh, that was a late move from Rodriguez into the right-hander, and it gave him a very slow exit because here comes Samuel Liebert. Through the kink they go. He has to back out of it. Rodriguez comes back at Grunestel. Grunestel staying defensive. Are they going to try too wide through there? Not this time. The Vidal chicane really shaking a lot of drivers out of attempting to try and going door to door through there.
Yeah, I see an hour and 24 minutes left. Wow.
Some fierce fighting for the top 10. Here comes Rodriguez one more time. This time with a much better run down into the hairpin. Grunestel can't hold him back forever, and he finally has to give up the ghost.
Oh, Rodriguez gets a little bit offline there, but then settles it, gets it back down. Able to power off there.
You know what makes
and hot.
What makes passing easier is when you actually get to a corner that you can pass on. I mean, when all that horseplay that was going on the backside of the track, they got to corner 1, and that's when things got settled.
I think in the case of these Audis, what makes passing easier is if you can turn. They just seem to turn. They seem to outturn the Merc just a little bit, Sue.
Now let's see what that BMW has in store for the Mercedes.
Staying close to him as they work their way through the Dunlop hairpin. Now up through the Schumacher S's. Looking very handy through there. Closing in. But Grunestel stays defensive. Oh, they swap places. Sticks his nose in. He's going to try and take the apex away from him. Can't keep the momentum up. The track is going to switch back in favor of Grunestel. As it continues downhill and over-under for Samuel Liebert, almost gets into the side of Grunestel, but he's got his nose inside as they work their way through the kink. It's going to turn back left for the chicane. Are they going to finally try and go too wide? I wouldn't advise this, guys. Grunestel decides against it.
Liebert really wants that spot. He gets it. Apex Racing Simulator's up to 8.
And Dream Factory says thank you. Keep battling. I'll close up on the back of you guys as Jordi Clara now gets on the back of Julian Grunestel.
I think they finally got that sorted out in order of speed now. I think what they had was them all shuffled up. I think that should start to spread out a bit. Clara may disagree with me, but I think we got him lined up right.
You're always faster than the car ahead, right? He's holding me up.
Not for me. I see a car in my windscreen. I notoriously slow down. I cannot chase anybody.
Tell you what, Kevin Siggy has caught up to the back of Philip Matrevsky here. This is for a top 5 position. He is within half a second of that Audi. Oh, tries to stick his nose in, but there's no place to go in that hairpin. You know, Sean, that hairpin almost reminds me of that first hairpin of Zandvoort, the way it's got the banking to kind of help you around the outside.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, listen, I'll take my hairpin with a little bit of banking every time. Oh, boy, that Siggy trying to pull that move off. Doesn't quite get it done. Matrevsky able to hold him off there. But like I said, Joe, I like my hairpin with a little bit of banking. It certainly does help you get through there.
Boy, Siggy trying to make a quantum leap to get that nose in, but it just did not work. He's going to get another opportunity if he can get the traction out of the final hairpin, and he does. Just about a car length and a half back as they work their way up the pit straight. But a good exit for Matrevsky means that I don't think he's going to get the chance. He's going to try anyways, goes deep into the corner. And he's got the apex away from him. Can he make it stick? Yes, he does. Kevin from a long way back.
Got to go to P2. And again, that battle we just saw there, that was new tires winning over old tires. And here we have the same situation here with Wyatt Gooden being ran down in old tires by Maximilian Vennick in new tires.
Vennick, though, his window's going to be coming up soon. So I don't know how long he's going to... Maybe he wants to just wait behind, or does he want to boogie and try and get by him here?
Yeah, I think he wants to make this up now. He's got to get this. He only has about another 8 or 9 minutes out, so he'd like to get this done. But this is, we talked about it, it's the early peel, late reveal. When it's all said and done, he was at the back of the train, came in early, took tires so he was fast. Now, Sean, this is where we get to the question is, everyone else was doing it on a one tire stop, doing 2 stints on one set. We'll see what happens here. There we go.
Decides not to go for it. I think a lot of drivers are just afraid of the chicane. We've seen very few attempt passes into there, and when they do happen, they're helped by the other car lifting.
Well, you don't want to be lifting for a reason. You don't want to be the guy caught out that winds up on the other side of those curbs.
Well, that Audi should be able. The Audi should be able to power by the BMW down the straight here and get this done.
Yeah, and he duly does so.
Yeah.
So Maximilian Vennick, he was in, what was it, 8th place before those pit stops?
Yep, got up to 2nd.
Yeah, wow. That was a brilliant call by the Pure Racing Team Blue guys on the box. See what was happening, try something risky, and it is paying off.
But he's going to have to do it again because he's going to be low on fuel. He's going to have to come in, and that's going to put him back in the mix. He'll have a longer stop than some of these other guys. Just for fuel, not even accounting for tires.
This is true. However, he did manage to... He took tires last time, so we know the tires shouldn't really affect him. We've seen what he can do with... Even with traffic, I should say. I was about to say clean air, but he had to work through traffic to do this. What's interesting as well, he's only 8 seconds back from Jesus Cecilia. So he actually gained time on the leader, I think.
Oh, yeah. And this is where it's interesting. Cecilia gets the decision of whether to take tires a second time or not. If he does take tires, there's a chance he'll have to pass some guys, because I think maybe Vennick will go without tires.
I think if I was Cecilia's team, I'd say take tires.
I would too.
Yeah. We've seen that he can work through traffic. There's no reason to take the risk to make him slow at the end. Give him the fresh boots and set him loose and let him sort him out. Getting relatively close to our pit window. We know that drivers can make it as far as a minute, or an hour and 10 seconds, I should say. We've got a battle going on in 14th position, although they're splitting up a little bit. Julian Ephraim, Marcin Skrzak, and Ben Tusting. In fact, Marcin and Ben, both drivers that are still trying to work their way forward from early issues.
Remember, Tusting was the car that was fighting to not be lapped. Am I correct on that?
That's correct.
That's
he is still on
correct,
the lead lap. 23 cars, in fact, still on the lead lap out here. At a 39 starting, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and Offray up there in front of that group, he had gotten in the car for Joe Guez, who had started the race. So that driver change already happened, guys, on that first stop for them.
Now, sometimes we refer to Julian as Airfare, and that might confuse a few people. So I'm going to have to hand off to Bill to explain this nickname and where it comes from.
When he was in the MX-5 World Tour, the series manager made a post in the forum using his cell phone, and autocorrect turned Julian Affray into Airfare, so the name stuck. So he certainly can fly, but we love Airfare as a good nickname.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not doing too bad, as we said.
I did not know the story behind that. That's correct.
There's never one sole thing where Bill gets his nicknames from.
I didn't say it was me. I said it was the series manager.
Oh, yes, excuse me. The league organizer. My pardon.
Now I'm going to say it again. I still think the Blade is one of the great soup nicknames.
Well, the Blade Tinsey.
Well,
Australian driver right there.
No,
Marcin is, as we've been watching Julian, he has really closed up on him now. There was a bit of a gap between these guys when he first joined them, but now it's down to 3/10 between Marcin and Julian, and Ben is now getting in the action, got very close coming through the hairpin. They're going to stretch out a little bit here on the pit straight, so I don't think we're going to have a pass attempt down into turn one quite yet.
You know what, guys? Getting pretty dicey here. Battle for sixth. Philip Matretsky trying to hold off Andrew Rodriguez. Rodriguez coming up alongside. Side by side down to the turn.
Oh, and much better on the brakes. Look at Rodriguez. That is the disheartening tire difference between two of the same cars, actually.
Yeah, Rodriguez really wheeling it right now. He was over a full second faster that last lap than Matretsky.
And I have to think that Matretsky is regretting that decision. He was in second place at the pit stops and has now been demoted to 7th, with Libert just about to demote him now as Samuel takes a bit of a peek. I think Sam may have gotten a slowdown in that. He was much closer.
He was, and had to back out of it. And I'm thinking you might be right there, Joe.
Well, what was an opportunity has gone away, and Sam's got to do all the hard work all over again. You could say, I guess Sam's going to have to play it again.
Oh,
man.
Oh.
That's what you get when we've had to cover the 24-hour of Daytona, and then we come back the next. We're going to get that.
Oh, you missed me singing show tunes in the car when I was driving earlier.
His last stint this morning, yes, he was singing show tunes in the car. That was, yeah.
Oh, look at Marcin Skrzak. He's going to have a run on the inside. He doesn't have to wait for the straightaway. As actually we're watching a battle between Grunestel and Libert. And now we switch back to the battle with Triton Racing. Marcin much better on the brakes down into turn one, and he's got it done now. Didn't know which way to turn our attention as our director had caught another battle simultaneously. That other battle was between Libert and Grunestel for the 8th position, and Libert and Matrevsky for the 7th position, and Matrevsky managed to hold him off for that. Ooh, getting right up tight to the tailpipe. Libert putting the pressure on. This is where he made his mistake last time. Does much better on keeping that car on course. Holds right to the rear wing of Matrevsky. Sticks it up the inside at the last second. Bit of argy-bargy, but Libert gets it done. I did not expect the pass to happen there.
Again, difference in tires, and once again, Philippe falling back. Lucky there was no net code on that one. They were really close.
With about a minute before the windows open, let's go through our order before it gets all jumbled up. Jesus Cecilia still leading, and it is actually stretching away from Maximilian Venek. It's now 10 seconds between first and second place. Wyatt Gooden is holding down third. Angelo Michel is in fourth place for Husingfeld Core Motorsports. Kevin Siggy for Torrent Motorsports BES is in fifth. And just outside the top five, Andrew Rodriguez has worked his way forward for Odox Motorsports into sixth. Samuel Libert, we just saw the overtake that he did, up into seventh for Apex Racing Simulators. Philippe Matrevsky moving steadily backwards in Shinya Machimi Sim Racing Yellow. Their strategy not paying off how they would hope. Then in ninth, Julian Grunestel has also been in some battles. He's in ninth, and Jordi Clara rounding out our top 10.
You know, Joe, they really spread out all over the circuit, don't they? I mean, it's kind of like a where are they not right now? But just under 4 miles, and this whole field is. Coming up on this pit window here, they are just all over the place.
What do they call that in short track racing, Sean? The conveyor belt?
The conveyor belt, exactly, yes.
This battle that we're looking at right here, though, that our director has, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th are all within shouting distance of each other, and even bring in 13th position back there. That's JM Racing Black. All within sight of each other. Everything up in front of this is pretty much spread out to how they're running right now. Everything's sorted out, faster cars up in front. I don't think we're going to see too many passes up between first and eighth before the pit cycle. But back here, this is something else.
Let's talk about some of our drivers that are on teams that are on the bubble. Libert being one of them. He is on the Apex Racing Simulators team. They're 25th. And currently sitting 7th. That is a team that is looking very handy right now. Offray as well. They're just one position ahead of them in 24th, but on track, they're a little bit farther back in 15th. I'm not sure if that 15th is going to help quite as much, but this is the top split. And you get a handy amount of points if you're anywhere up in the top half of the field, I'm sure. Looking through the others, Gollenbeck and Siggy, Torrent Motorsports, they're 26. Another team that's looking high up there. They're in 5th position. They are no doubt going to get a good haul to get themselves in a nice, comfortable spot in the points.
And there's Ben Trusting coming in. Got to give him a shout out. Remember, he was fighting to stay on the lead lap. He was having a great run.
You know, our leader, speaking of holding off the leader, Thomas Ahrens right now, trying to hold off Jesus Cecilia, trying to get around him. Jesus been closing in, and looks like now, yes, all right, that's over. Thomas going to let him go here down into the hairpin.
I think we better go up to 9th here, because I think we're about to see a defensive line of what I saw happen last lap around. Watch our driver in 9th place. I'll take a shot at this one. Julian Grunestal, okay. Let's see if he takes the same line he did last time.
Behind them, though. Alex Q under attack from Jakob Brzezinski for that 11th position. He's staying defensive to the inside. Oh, quick switch back. This could be tight if they go side by side. He gives them room, but they're going to stay single file. Gets a horrible exit, and he decides he's had enough of this. 3 of them come into the pits. Probably a wise
Yeah,
move.
that's probably good. So we'll see how that. I think pit strategy is going to separate those guys, while the tire strategy is going to sort those out. Look at the defensive line here from 9th.
Yeah, Brzezinski under attack from the Milkman. He comes knocking, but can't quite open the door this lap. Looking for that nice spot. These guys are going to have to come in for their stop eventually.
Forced to leave it on the porch.
And in fact, he gets himself a nice little bit of breathing space now that they have gone through the Mercedes arena. So Jacob Brzezinski looking a little more handy now.
Well, Sean, an hour 8 to go. We're in that window. I think Venig is going to be coming in here pretty quick, I would think.
Yeah, I think you're going to start to see everybody make their way down here real soon. The window is open. Indeed.
And Maximilian Venig, right on cue, comes in for his pit stop with about an hour and 5 to go.
I'm taking some money out of the jar for that one. I called that one right. I'm taking $2 out for the last time I made a mistake.
Question is, where is this going to slot him out now? Look at all 3 cars coming out at the same time. Synchronized pitting. Raul Diago gets in the Dream Factory car for Jordi Clara, and he's going to lead the way. Meanwhile, the cars that they were battling, both Brzezinski and Melkila, both continuing on.
Yeah, Brzezinski played it that way last time when they got ready to pit. He kept it out for a couple more laps, so we'll see here. He's got a couple more left in him. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier from previous races. I'm always impressed with Brzezinski's pace in that BMW. He is a real pro in that machine, I got to be honest. I enjoy watching him drive that car.
Triton Racing has come in for their stop. So has Gecko Vortex Blue. Joel Guez gets in that car. And then Triton has Camille Franzak hop into that cockpit.
Okay, Venik stays in the car and comes out in. He's going to cycle out in 14th spot. Was in there for 1:09. I would think that was probably tires. Yeah, I would think that would be a full fuel and tires. So he'll be a ways back, but he'll be fast.
Well, it worked out for them before. Might as well stick to plan.
Goods in, guys. Radicals Online Steel Series is in the pit. Coming down the lane now.
Now, we know that BMW has got to take rubber because they didn't the first time through.
Yeah, well, also going to need a driver change here, too. Wyatt's been in the seat since we got started.
I don't know.
Right, guys?
I don't know if they have anybody. Let me see if anybody has stepped in for them. Last time I checked, he was out there by himself.
We'll find out in a moment. He's still in the car right now.
Ah, yes. Paolo Ledman is in.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, he's no slouch.
That's for sure.
You know, Sean and Joe, we do those. We did the Daytona 24. GSRC covers so many series now. I don't know if maybe a 10 to a dozen series that we cover full time. So many of these drivers we know from series we cover. It's almost like an all-star event when they get to those races.
And having been with GSRC for a bit now, it's really neat when you get out there and in the practice sessions and maybe some of the hosted sessions, and you see these guys and you acknowledge each other. You get to know these people just a little bit. It's a lot of fun. But a lot of these names we're used to seeing, and a lot of these guys cross over into many, many different series.
So Vinnick goes by the Steel Series BMW as Radicals now releases Pavel Ledvan, and he is out on track in 14th. And to answer your question, I don't have the official confirmation, but I'm pretty sure we have 14 series we're covering this year. That could still increase yet.
Yeah, the calendar looks empty, Joe. I'd say we got plenty
Right.
of opportunities there for people to fill it.
All right. Michelle has come in. Angelo should hop out of that car. I'm pretty sure he started this race for Hoisingfeld Core Motorsports. Andre Bocher gets in the machine. Tell you what, looks like Miko and Jakob up now all the way to 6 and 7. They're going to run it as long as they possibly can because they've still continued. Haven't swapped positions yet. Remember, we watched a little bit of a battle between them before. Been waiting and seeing if they're going to come out with the other 3 cars that they had a 5-car battle going on with. In just about 45 seconds, we're going to be hitting 1 hour to go in this 3-hour race. If you're just joining us, once again, welcome here to the Global Sim Racing channel. We're watching the final round of the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series. This is the qualifying rounds to earn your spot in the big boy races, the Blancpain GT Series.
You know, Joe, I was just thinking about that. You say the big boy races, right? This is a qualifying race. Now, for those of us that are iRacing members and those of you who aren't, let me explain real quick. The strength of field here, 5,040. That's insane. These are not amateur racers. These are some of the best in the iRacing universe battling for a chance to
even race.
To race with guys that are even better. So amazing. Just absolutely amazing. A strength of field of 5,040 is intense pressure for every driver in this field.
April 15th, round run. Starts for wheel.
Kind of reminds me, there was one of the football players at my high school went on to play in college and then in the pros, and someone had compared it to, that when he went from high school to college, he was one of the biggest guys in our school, and the question was, does he still look big against all the other college players? Because that's the best of them. And then, does he still look big against all the NFL players? And, at that point, it was like, yeah, he no longer looked as huge as he once did.
Yeah, well, they talk about the adjustment in the speed of the game and how it changes from one level to the next. Boy, it's hard to imagine that qualifying for this series and go up another notch, that it gets much faster than we're seeing right now, but it does.
You have to up your game.
I want to draw attention to is running in 3rd place, Odox Motorsports Samsung. Andrew Rodriguez running it right now. I got a hunch these guys are going to run really long. Look for them to inherit the lead and hold it for a while. They ran really long the first stint and took tires. I think what they're going to do here is run long again. Come in, it's not really going to be a splash and go, but they won't fill it up all the way, and then see what they can do on old rubber to get to the end.
Boy, oh boy, that's that'll be fun if they work that strategy. It'll be fun to see. And Andre Rodriguez doing that with a little bit of damage on that car. The left rear a bit torn up, but hasn't affected the performance of the car, obviously.
Now, one thing we hadn't noticed I want to draw attention to, if I'm not mistaken, Hoisingfeld Core was behind the Radicals BMW before the stops, were they not? That would be Andre Bocher currently in the Hoisingfeld Core Audi. And they seem to have jumped them in the pits. In fact, significantly, there's 5 seconds between the 2 cars.
And their pit stop really wasn't that much longer. In fact, it wasn't longer at all. It was a little bit shorter.
You're talking Hoisingfeld and Radical? Yeah, it looks like a minute 1 for Hoisingfeld cone to cone, a minute 9 for Radical cone to cone.
So slightly different pit stop times, allowing them to jump them, but wondering what the difference is there. Maybe fuel?
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it's hard to say. They both looked like they took tires. This might have been just a slower stop.
I'm thinking Huskenfeld didn't take tires, guys.
No, they're in there for the, well, actually,
yeah.
125 cone to cone, 101 in the stall. In the stall's got to be tires. I wonder if I don't know.
Well, whatever they did, they managed to get themselves into what is currently 10th, but we still have drivers who've yet to take their stop. Highest driver I'm seeing that has finished their second stop is still Maximilian Vinnig. He's sitting in 8th. What effectively we expect to be second when all is said and done.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at Marcino right now. Simone Marcino, that's what we were talking about, how many stops they made. I don't think so. I think they've made one stop. In fact, they're on a really short stint as well. These are another guy that could run long, running in 5th place for Thrustmasters Mivano Black.
Yeah, I'm looking through the last about 15 laps or so, and I do not see any times looking like they had a stop. So, oh, Michael Delval.
Oh, and yeah, he
got tapped.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, good run by. Geez, the BMW gets into the back of him there.
And
he catches on the replay.
He was being lapped too, so this was not for position. Jeka Brzezinski did not expect him to slow that. Oh, you know what? I think Michael was heading into the pits.
Joe, that's a great call. I think that's exactly what was going on because he was way off the pace.
He was trying to slow that car up to get it into the pit lane. And unfortunately, the car behind did not get the memo.
And he's got some help getting to the pit lane. So,
well, I don't know what Jacob could do there. That's yeah.
Yeah, no, there was nothing he didn't know. If he didn't call out that he was setting up for a pit stop, and kind of on him a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Got to watch your mirrors and your relative.
And get in there a little faster.
Brzezinski's car doesn't look too damaged. A little bit of a crinkle on the front of that BMW, but otherwise, I think he got away.
Yeah, that doesn't affect the performance on that car.
Well,
the tank rolls on, baby.
Several more cars it could punt before it needs to have any repair done, yeah. That's why I choose that one. If I ever have to do a long stint, I may not be fast, but I know I'll be tough.
54 minutes left on the clock and still a number of lead cars yet to come in for their final stop. Once we get to, well, we know, let's see, about 16 minutes into the hour, that would be 44 minutes left to go. That's the max. Did I get my math wrong again?
No, I'm sorry. I left you hanging out there, Joe. No, you didn't get your math wrong at all. That's right.
Sean and I were both thinking about other stuff. Sorry about that, Joe.
No.
Got a little bit of a close battle going on between Bojan Newman and Andre Bocher. Bojan leading the way there and the white Mercedes. Andre for the Heusingfeld Core purple and yellow Audi, waiting for a spot. This is not technically a battle for position when all is said and done because Bojan has yet to take his final stop. And we're seeing, I think dutifully so, a very patient Andre. Knows all he's got to do is wait for right about here, I'm guessing, and that Audi should be able to finally get an opportunity to outbrake this Mercedes. And here he goes, peeks to the inside, down into the first hairpin. Sneaks right by, and that pass should be done. Yes, it is. That moves Andre into 9th.
Let's go to our leader real quick. This might be a good time for Jesus to bring this car in, do a driver swap. He's got some traffic to deal with. He just had a real close call getting around some back markers here. And now he's got a mess in front of him. We've been out there for a while. Let's bring that in now. Get our driver swap done. Who's going to come in for you, Jesus?
I see Ibon Fernandez in there, but also David Jordan, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jordan since we've seen him drive before.
All right, let's drop back to 17th real quick. Great battle going on here. Miko Malkia.
Call him the Milkman.
Yeah, the Milkman is under threat right now. Oh boy, Raul Diago almost gets into him there. The Dream Factory machine pushing hard to take that 16th spot away. I'm sorry, 17th spot there.
We were watching these guys earlier as it looks like Raul tries to stick his nose in through Ford, but can't quite do it. Looks like Miko, when he took his pit stop, managed to come out right with Dream Factory, who pitted many laps different from him. So yeah, their pace was even.
About 4 laps separate those. Actually, 4 laps separate them in stops.
Just behind them, Diego Catalan has the popcorn position.
And I think those guys are all took tires last time, so those should be all equally matched.
Nothing doing between them as they come around up the hill towards the chicane. Everybody getting a little bit of breathing room, gather themselves together, then maybe Raul can get another attack. Around the last hairpin, Raul squaring it off majorly. Unfortunately, that put him in the clutches of Diego just briefly, but it looks like that Dream Factory 2 car did not get a good run. We understand that as this is happening, Siggy has come in.
Torrent Motorsports, BES. Now, the leaders of all the cars who have pitted, we can stay on that battle there, Joe, so interrupt me here while I ramble on. It's Pure Racing Blue. That's the car number 004 that we've been watching.
Yeah, still nothing happening with this battle. These guys just staying in line. Now, I don't think that Diego Catalan is going to be attacking Raul Diago, at least right now, because they are both Dream Factory team cars. Jim Racing Black, however, does need to worry.
Jim Racing Black, who we've seen had some bad luck this during his round of qualifiers, but doing a good job of hanging on the 17th right now.
Just an update, Jordan Weeks has gotten in the Torrent Motorsports machine, and he now exits out in about 11th position.
Right behind, yeah, I think that's their third driver perhaps, right behind Pure Racing Team Blue was able to get around. They're still the leaders. Racingveld Core Motorsports also got around, so that's your second team that's made a pit stop.
Probably trying to lighten the load, and maybe all three of them took part in the 24 and wanted to share it. Got a battle for 14th. Vincenzo Amico under attack from Elias Rueda. He's got the inside heading into the Mercedes arena. Getting very close to one of their, neither driver willing to give quarter, almost banging doors. Vincenzo's got the inside now and finally gets the job done through 3.
Again, we've talked about it several times that Audi just really performs a little bit better down in that section.
Ahead of them, a little bit of a battle for 12th as well. Simon Povey and Joel Guez, two names we've seen quite a few times here in the Blancpain Endurance Series. Guez leading the way in the Gecko Vortex Blue machine. Simon Povey in the Apex Racing machine behind him, the white and black car.
Joel, been a very busy man this weekend. I know he ran the 24, always under attack here.
Ooh, that was decisive.
Yeah, Simon Povey pulling that off with ease.
And our leader is in, but it should be a pretty ordinary stop for him.
Just real quick, I was going to say about Joel. He ran the Daytona 24. During the Daytona 24, I get an update to his sim application software during the middle of the race. So at some point, he jumped off, did some coding, put out an update, got back in the car, and now he's here today. One of the hardest working men in the business, people, Joel Lewis.
That is a beast.
Yes, he is. An update during the middle of the race.
All right, David Jordan does indeed get in the lead car for Dar Contigo. Andrew Rodriguez stays out and might actually take over the lead here momentarily. They have yet to take their second stop, though.
Yeah. New leader is Rodriguez. We expected them to stay out for a while.
Still waiting on a few cars to take their second stop. Rodriguez has not. Simone Maria Marceno has not. David Perez has yet to come in. And then we approach David Alexis Jordan coming out in fourth place. Yes, indeed. Jean-Philippe Lacombe for Team GTNF comes in.
Leader is rolling, coming out comfortably ahead of the 004 Pure Racing Team Blue, who has made his second stop.
One of the holdouts, another one of the holdouts coming in from ninth. Bojan Neumann in the MSP Drivers Home 2 car coming in.
Starting to get a clearer picture of who is going to wind up where here after the final round of stops with 45 minutes to go. Actually, this is right on the cusp. We should see everybody yet to stop come in next time by.
And Joe, you called it. Dar Contigo came in, took tires again. No need to fool around with anything fancy.
Rodriguez and Odox proves me wrong, stays out for one more lap.
Odox is staying out for a while.
Watching to see anybody else coming in. Thrustmaster Movano Black with Simone stays out there.
They will also stay out for a long time as well. They took a very long first stint. I think they're going to go long again. In fact, look for them to actually inherit the lead. I think Odox will probably come in a lap before they do. I am inside the heads of the guys on top of the box.
Is all that snooping you were doing overnight last night?
Took me 6 rounds to figure it out, but I've got it down now. It's a shame that this series has to end.
Well, the good news is the qualifiers end, but the proper series starts, as we said, April 15th. Don't miss out on that. As whoa, Muhammad Patel.
Yeah,
defeated
All
Ragnar.
by himself.
little four-wheel drifting, a little bit of four-wheel drifting there. The left-hander, gets it back on track, right in front of traffic.
Rear end of that, or that BMW swinging right around. Nice little pirouette.
Battle for 12th, real quick. This is getting awfully close. Oh, there are going to be Cialis bathtubs down the straightaway.
That's Vincenzo Amico for Shinya Machimi Yellow. Just outgunning Lucas Justat for MSP Home 1. Lucas is not done with him yet. Sneaks into the inside. Very defensive move from Vincenzo. Almost squeezes him off the track, but manages to hold him back with the last stops over. They know that every position matters now. You can't give it up. That was aggressive defense from the Shinya Machimi car. One of our front runners coming in, David Perez, pits from third.
Okay, so that leaves the front two still yet to come in. That's Andre Rodriguez in the lead and Simone Maria Marceno in the Thrustmaster. Ivano Black still on track.
Tom Valentini gets in for Jim Racing Yellow. Where are they going to come out? Because they are one of the cars on the bubble. They're 28th in the points. And it looks like Vincenzo's still trying to hold off Lucas Yastad. He's unable to get past him quite yet. As they head down towards the chicane, he's going to stay in line, probably try and set himself up for an exit out of the final hairpin. Let's see if he squares it off. Ooh, look much faster through the chicane, though. Both of them with a nice, tidy line. Lucas, nice and close. Pulls the draft down the pit straight. It's going to reel him in, but might be a little bit too little too late. And yes, he's too far back to try and attack.
And our leader is in for Odox. Now, I'm looking for them to do this without tires this time and see if they can get out in front of some of the guys and then play defense for the last 40 minutes.
Simone Maria Marceno stays out.
And as expected, Thrustmaster stays out. They're going to do the same thing, I think.
The battle for 12th is intense. Amico just still going at it. Just on the aggressive here.
Vincenzo doing a beautiful job of holding him back, though. Down into the Dunlop hairpin. No opportunity for Lucas quite yet. Just keeping him in his sights, getting good exits where he needs to.
Okay. I'm going to steal you away for a second. This is important. Yeah. Perez is coming out in third position. This is for Odox. They have not taken tires as expected, and they're getting out in front of the Pure Racing Blue team.
Only by a few seconds, though. I'm not sure if this is going to work out for them.
I think that's going to be second position overall once everyone takes their stop. But they have 40 minutes to hold off Vinnick.
Good luck there. There you can see Vinnick currently scored in fourth. He has shared the car today with his teammate Jonas Wallmeyer. Both of those guys from the DH Club. There you can see Perez, who has taken over for his teammate, Andre Rodriguez.
There you can see the leader out in front. That's David Jordan there on the far left of your screen, running in second. But that's going to be first as soon as our leader comes in. And now here they come. Here comes Thrustmaster in.
This is finally going to release David Jordan into the lead.
Now I'd expect these guys to do a similar thing, not take rubber. They only have 38 minutes to go.
Let's hop back to what's going to be third place, Maximilian Vinnick, now within just about a second of Marc Perez. He is closing fast. I think about a second a lap faster. Now down to 0.8 seconds. How hard is Perez going to fight for this podium spot? Currently second. They do have to worry about how much time they lose because Andre Bocher for Heusingfeld Core is only 6 seconds behind these guys. And you can see the difference of the new tires once again. Vinnick all over the back of Marc Perez. within 3 car lengths. Oh, they got a spun car in front of them. They're going to have to go around wide. Who is that? Alberto Rodriguez Hidalgo. He was there for a long time. Probably should have pulled forward. Just spun by himself. You'll see here.
Oh, man, we got another. I'm sorry, guys. We got another hornet's nest back here. It's now. The milkman is fighting hard with. I'm sorry, that was the. Jim racing car. I'm sorry, the milkman's in the Jim racing car. He was fighting with Lucas Justat. Sorry there, guys. I got lost my place. They were side by side, made a little bit of contact, and survived it.
We need to go back to second place. Vinnig now closing in within a car length. Gets himself a great launch off the final hairpin. Looks to the inside, and Perez does not defend. He lets it go. Vinnig going to move himself into second. Beautifully executed strategy for the Pure Racing Team Blue. An early stop got them out of traffic, got them into second place. And unless tragedy strikes, they can bring this one home.
Now it's a matter of what Perez can do. If he can hang on, he has about 5 seconds back to Hoisingveld Core Motorsports. Andre Boschler in that one.
I think those guys are going to run them down. Hoisingveld took tires, didn't they? In this last stop? Yes. Yeah, that's going to be an easy one. But you have to wonder, does Perez want the podium? Does that mean anything? Obviously, there's no podium ceremony, no trophies that they officially do for this, but mentally, is that important to the ODOX team?
I think to anybody, any driver, a win's a win. I don't care what you win. It's you get behind the wheel, you want to win, regardless of trophy or prizes. Now there is a bigger picture in play for these qualifiers. Obviously, the chance to get in and win the big money.
The team that is hungry is Apex Racing Simulators, currently running in 9th position. And the reason why they have to be kind of happy, up in 8th position, that's for Team GTNF. That team didn't take tires. They have about 5 seconds to get to them. Then another 3.5 seconds you can get up to JIM Racing Yellow. They didn't take tires either. So within maybe 9 seconds, they can pick up 2 spots if Povey can get moving there for Apex.
Lap times for Povey, last 3 laps, 53 flat, 52.9, 53.5. Jean-Philippe Lacombe, last 3 laps, 54.1, 54 flat, 54.1. Yeah, he is reeling them in.
Coming.
Slow Audi on the track. Vendaval Sim Racing. Adrian Hedich in the car number 7. Just let that train of cars get by. That car really off pace right now, trying to get back up to speed. A lot of damage on that machine.
Well, remember a bit ago we were watching Vincenzo Amico hold off Lucas Justat. Lucas has still not managed to get by, and now they've got a truly train forming. The milkman has arrived. Raul Diago is at the back of that train. Diago Catalan is in there. And Muhammad Patel all the way back to 17th place. Oh, it looks like Lucas took a try down into turn 3. Couldn't quite make it happen. He's got him on the ropes. Vincenzo looking to stay defensive down into Valvoline. Comes back to the line, and Lucas does not send it up the inside. Just digging his tires into the dirt, barely for Vincenzo, trying to get as much momentum as he can. Now he goes defensive, holds the inside line down into the Dunlop hairpin, goes a little bit wide, he gets tipped, they come together. They both manage to continue on. Oh, and one of them is...
Could it be incident cap?
That is then incident cap. Lucas Justat falls victim. Still Vincenzo is not safe. He loses a position to Raul Diago, who sneaks by. He's got the milkman looking to try and go around the outside of the left-hander, excuse me. Oh, and they come together once again. Vincenzo spins, and he's gone.
I can't help but laugh.
2 cars in 1 lap falling victim to the incident limit. He fought hard, he fought valiantly, but Vincenzo Amico is not going to be able to finish this race.
Well, that's pretty big, boys. Pretty big here late in this race. 31 minutes to go, and that happens.
How about sweet justice and irony right there? First of all, you're tapped. The guy that hits you is eliminated because of his cap. You got to be thinking, yes! And then the irony of it all, you get hit again, and this time you're eliminated because of the incident cap.
Well, the incident cap has no partiality. Mm-mm. If you run into it, you run into it. There's no way you're getting out of it.
Sean, we talked about never seeing those things live as they happen. We just saw 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's like double Bigfoot sightings.
Well, you know, I don't think we talked about that enough, at least when I did the race details. 25x the limit. This pretty tricky little circuit here, guys. Not hard to get to grab an X. And what we mean by that, to those of you watching for the first time today, that's off track. That's getting the tires off the actual racing surface onto the dirt or the grass, possibly making contact with another opponent. That'll rack up usually about 4 points. So as you can see, that over the course of a 3-hour race, that could be a challenge to manage. And generally, you're not managing it. You're driving and hoping you don't ever reach that limit. And sometimes it catch you out, and you have 1 left and don't realize it until you're booted.
Are you on the box? You're not able to get that information, are you? That's well, only the drivers.
I mean, you can see that actually.
Yeah, I can see when you rack one up, and I can keep track of it. Yes. Now, if you've got somebody on the box, it's a great thing for them to keep track of if you know there's a limit. But maybe they weren't caught on that, but they certainly probably knew they were close.
You would think with putting 2.5 hours in, they might have raced a little more politely, knowing that they were so close to the cap.
Yeah, it's the final round. I guess for them it was an all or nothing situation. So, meanwhile, let's head up to third because Andre Bocher has finally closed the gap. It's now within half a second between himself and Perez in the Odox Motorsports number 30. This has been a long time coming. I figured he would catch him a little bit quicker, but it took a number of laps. 30 minutes left to go on the clock, so Andre has time to try and get this done.
Oh, guys, back your trouble. I don't know exactly what happened, but the milkman goes off the track as he was battling for position with the Dream Factory car, the Diego Catalan.
I think it was just a mistake.
Drove it in too deep or what?
We're on the replay. Let's see if we can figure out.
He didn't get the right sides on the grass. It just got...
Oh, no. We saw a little bit of dust.
Oh, he did put up some dirt.
Meanwhile, we've got the pass for third happening. For second. Or no, third. Got it right the first time. And there you can see the end result of it. Perez lets him go. And Bocher is on the podium now.
Perez, but the drama doesn't end. Now it's 3.3 seconds back to Pablo Ledwan coming. Radical. Well, that's the BMW. That's the Dwight Gooden BMW. So there's a chance for that team to get back up into fourth. Ledwan having a good run.
They're not doing too bad. Yeah.
We're referencing baseball players again, Soup.
Did I say Dwight Gooden? Oh no! I put the money back in the jar. For U.S. fans, will know what that is. For the world, there's a famous baseball player here.
I always get a chuckle out of when you say that.
Wyatt Gooden. My apologies, Wyatt.
Well, while we wait for the battle for 4th to come together, let's go a little bit farther down the field to 11th. Marco Acunto trying to run down Joel Guez and the Gecko Vortex Blue machine. He's within about half a second. Working their way through the Dunlop hairpin, now into the Schumacher S's. Still a little bit of time. Marco sizing him up, trying to close in as we ride on board with the Thrustmaster Movano Black machine. Closes in yet more. Coming onto the backstretch, heading up the hill through the kink now. Is Guez going to defend? Holds about midway. Marco takes a peek, backs out of it, gives him a little bit of a shake-up. Loses him time, though. Marco not looking strong through that chicane. Draft of the pit straight, helping Acunto close back in. 25 minutes left on the clock now. Looking very strong down into the Mercedes arena. Acunto's Thrustmaster Movano car showing its form. Coming up close now through turn 3 into 4. Can he put the pressure on? Can he get past Joel Guez? As we're watching this, we'll keep you up to date if anything starts to erupt with Perez farther up. But right now, he is very safe at about 2.5 seconds. Jordan's got a little ways to go to try and get himself into P4.
Yeah, we have that to watch. Then there's also Poby making a move. He's still trying to run down Lacombe. That's about 2.5 seconds. Not there yet, but he's coming. That would be a battle for 8th as he hopes to eventually get up to 7th. And then this one that we're looking at here with Diaz in this great battle for 10th.
Right on board with Acunto, just looking over his shoulder. Let's see if he takes a little bit of a peek this time. He did last time. Comes back to the line, though. Looks much stronger through the Vidal chicane. And now up to the final hairpin. This is what he needs. Tries to square off that last hairpin. Gets his traction. He's closer than he was before. Just about 2 car lengths back. Think he's going to run out of straightaway. He gives a look anyways to try and see if he can stick his nose in. But there's no chance.
Yeah, Tusting right now, trying to pick up another spot here, trying to pick up Triton Racing. Camille Franzak and behind the wheel of that car. Tusting. God, Team Chimera on the bubble, trying to pick up any spots they can get. And Tusting, if Tusting been in the car all day, guys, I think.
Let me see who else. Simon
right,
Trendell was in the car with him.
That's right. Trendell was in. That's correct.
Last 2 stints, though, have been him. And Ben's done a really good job. We've talked about him several times. He was close to going a lap down.
And remember, he inherited the car after some damage was gotten by Trendell getting punted off course. So, yeah, I have to agree. Ben deserves a pat on the back for the job that he's done getting this thing into 17th.
Yeah, he's got a position there in front of him. If he wants it, he's going to have to dig.
Up to 10th, Acunto taking another look into the chicane. I think this is going to hurt him once again. You can see he loses time with a little bit of a line. that's off the normal line going through that Vidal chicane. He's going to have to make up the ground once again. A little bit farther up, Pavel Ledvan in 5th position is now to within about a second of 4th place, Mark Perez in the Odox Motorsports Audi.
That's a slow death there for Odox Motorsports.
He wasn't fighting very hard for the other ones. I wonder if he's going to try and hold on to this one.
And Joe and Sean, you know, we get the numbers, we get the raw numbers, and these guys know exactly what they need to do. 5th position may be something that they'd be very happy with for Odox.
How about some credit to the Radicals Online Steel Series BMW, the highest position BMW, and there's not many of them out on course today either. These guys have done a very nice job to get this thing as high as it has.
Well, I think Wyatt Gooden had a lot to do with that early. He had great pace and kept that car up to the front of the field there during his stint in the car, and it's paid off for Powell. Even after he got in a little bit of trouble, he still manages to hang on to 5th right now. And Torrent Motorsports is 13, almost just under 13 and a half seconds back.
Let's give you an idea of what the picture looks like in our top 10, however, since we haven't in quite a while. David Jordan has taken over the Dark Contigo Racing Audi. He leads the way. Maximilian Vinig is 16 seconds back. Not a small gap, but definitely not huge either. He's been keeping the Pure Racing Team blue car in contention in 2nd place. Andre Bocher holding down the final podium spot. That's been a nice job by the Hoisingfeld Core team. Mark Perez currently in the 4th position. He's been slipping backwards after not taking tires, and it looks like he's about to lose it to Pavel Ledvan, who is in 5th. Jordan Weeks is in 6th spot, followed by Tom Valentini for Jim Racing Yellow. He is in 7th. Jean-Philippe Lecombe for Team GTNF. They are in 8th. They're closely followed by Simon Povey, who should be overtaking them soon. He is in 9th position. And then rounding out the top 10 is Joel Guez, who is in a battle that we have been watching as well with Marco Acunto.
Yeah, it's really a matter here of, in fact, here's the pass right now. Povey gets it done. So Povey moves up into 8th position, dropped Lecombe back into 9th. Povey's not done yet. There's one more to get. So now we can go back up and check how we're doing for that 4th place battle. Looks like Ledvan's taking his time, huh?
Yeah, he's right on top of him.
The problem with the BMW is it's good in places that you can't really pass. It's good through the twisty sections, through the technical sections of the track. That's great for putting down a lap time. But where you want to get by somebody is down the, you want to pass them down the straight, get a pole and get on the inside of them. That's where the BMW struggles. So,
they're the Red Bull of the GT3s.
Yeah. It's like a dog chasing a car. I mean, he's got it by the bumper, but now he doesn't know what to do with it.
He's still got 18 minutes to go. Even though relatively this is very late in the race, since this is a 3-hour contest, that's still quite a bit of time. That's a lot of laps for him to try and have a go.
And he does have fresher rubber. Go ahead, John.
Joe, Sue, Povey starting to close the gap, trying to get to Valentini.
Just about 1.2 between them. And, I thought that we had swapped positions for 4th, but we have not.
Yeah, Povey is back there with fresh rubber. We saw that one coming from a long ways back, and it's taken a while to get there, but now he's up. Don't think he's going to be able to get anything else, though.
Well, I don't know. Valentini going to have to be really good to hold him off. But,
he'll get Valentini. I think he'll get Valentini, but I think that's where it stops at that 7th place.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Jordan Weeks in the Torrent Motorsports machine a little too far up the track right now, about 14 seconds.
all the friends and fans of Valentini out there watching. I'm not sure he's going to get Valentini. I think he's going to get Valentini.
We're back on Mark Perez, still holding off Pavel Ledvon, and Ledvon's got the run now. He looks to the inside. This is the strong area under the brakes for the BMW. He's got it done. The Radicals Online Steel Series car moves into fourth.
That's right, Joe. Get that BMW side by side going into a corner. It won't be fast coming out, but it'll be able to outbrake you going in, and it'll close the door. So up to fourth.
So there's one of the battles we've been watching now done. Simon Povey closing in on Tom Valentini. 2/10 back at the hairpin. Isn't close enough, though.
Ooh. He's right up on him here.
Putting the pressure onto that Audi. Seeing if he can maybe get some sort of wiggle, some mistake out of that yellow and black machine.
Now, in contrast, we had the Audi versus BMW. In contrast to the BMW, the Mercedes looks a lot like it. Has similar silhouette, but it has a little more grunt down the straight, doesn't it, Sean? This one a little different. Get a rolling straight line, yeah, than the BMW at least.
Well, Valentini not going to give him the spot. I can tell you that. That's not going to happen. He's going to have
Povey's
to earn.
close, though. Look at him. He's peeking inside, but just not enough at the Dunlop hairpin. Valentini gives him room. They almost make contact. Povey sticks his nose in. Has to get back in line through the Schumacher S's single file through here. He is ready to go now. He's got him on the defense. Here's Valentini to the inside, trying to hold him off. Could we see an overrunner? It's going to switch back. This is not the side that Simon wants to be on. Can he go around the outside? It's going to be full of marbles out there, but he's got the tires. Here comes Povey, powers around the outside.
It's not over yet.
Indeed, he has to stay defensive down into the Vidal chicane, and finally, Valentini concedes.
Wow, what a run by Povey there.
That was gutsy. All right, 2 of our battles sorted, and 3 of our battles sorted, as Marco has passed Joel while we weren't looking. I'm going to see if that was recent. Maybe we could get a replay since we have been waiting a while on that one. Oh, actually, that was. If we could go about 60 seconds ago, that was a good battle. Down into the Dunlop hairpin. It looks like we need to go just a little bit farther back. Joel goes defensive down into the Dunlop hairpin. He knew it was going to be tough to hold him off. Another car going the long way around Marco, using that Mercedes to great effect. Takes the momentum off the corner and gets it done. Nice move by Thrustmaster Movano Black.
And Sean, you know, that gap, now that pass was made, 9th is only about 8.5 seconds ahead of these guys. I know we only have 13 minutes to go. I don't know if they're going to be able to get there, even though Lacombe is on old tires.
A little bit farther back in 12th, Raul Diago leading a train of cars.
I'm glad you went to that, Joe, actually. That's the battle I'm watching right now, and none of those positions are settled right now at all.
Holy smokes, what a fight.
That's all going to unfold here in the next 13 minutes here, and I think none of those positions are safe right now.
All right, let's name some names. In 12th, Raul Diago. 13th, Diego Catalan. Muhammad Patel in 14th. Miko Melkila, the Milkman, in 15th. And then just holding on to the tail of the train, Camille Franzak in Triton Racing in 16th. A little bit farther back, you got Ben Tusting, but he is starting to drop off even more. Oh, and as I say that, he closes in through the chicane.
Yeah, he did. He got a really nice run through the chicane really fast. Closing up on Camille Franzak now. Down the front straight.
Oh, and what's happening for 7th? Tom Valentini is trying to come back at Simon Povey. Gets it to the inside at turn 3. It's going to switch back in the favor of Povey. Around 4, he uses the track to cut him off. Povey holds on to the position.
Wow.
Boy, Valentini is not ready to have this battle be over.
Turn my pencil over and erase this thing that I had scratched out Valentini. I thought Valentini was going to be fighting to hang on to 8th position with the clone behind him. Little did I know. Nice fight back.
And Jim Racing Yellow didn't put tires on that car, did they?
No, both of those cars, the cars in 8th and 9th are on older tires. That's why I thought Podium was going to pull away.
Wow. I wonder if Simon used up his stuff.
Might have to get there, yeah.
My goodness.
So we have this battle up here in 8th that we'll watch, and then the nonsense at the back of the lead lap, right, Sean?
Yeah, it's this is crazy battle. Raul Diego still holding these drivers off. The advantage to Diego is that he's got his teammate right behind him, and Diego Catalan. That's a lot of Diegos and Diegos.
Both on the same team, mind you.
Yeah, and Mohammed Patel is hanging in there, man. That Feeder Ragnar Simulators BMW is not finished yet. Could be a couple positions to gain if he could just get around the first one in Diego Catalan there, just in front of him. The Milkman still in this mix. 10 minutes to go, just over 10 minutes. Somebody's going to get a little antsy here quick.
2 Mercedes out in front, a BMW, an Audi, and then a Mercedes in the back.
5 or 6 laps to go here, depending on when the leader comes across the line. But now it's really ticking down. Drivers are going to feel the pressure.
Last race, last chance, Joe.
Trying to look to see where our drivers on the bubble sit right now.
Something tells me they got a much better idea where they're sitting right now than we do. They've got it figured out, mapped out, taken into account drop races, where we exactly are, what we need to do, where's the cut line going to be, 25, 26, 27, 28?
The abacuses are burning.
Oh, yeah.
I believe
let's
in the
go.
race chat.
Povey had made a mistake. Povey lost the position. We might want to get it on replay. He just almost, I don't know, did he almost got a slowdown penalty, I think, maybe. Just
That's what it looks like.
Had to surrender. I don't know where he picked it up.
You're going to see, him give up the position here. Yeah, just pulls over. Tries to come back into it, but it was too little, too late. He's got to do the work all over again.
That's too bad. I'm not sure how much he has left in that car. Or under him, at least.
Well, I'll tell you what, Diego Catalan being a really, really good teammate to Raul Diego right now. As he's got everybody behind him. They can't find a way to get around.
Look at Patel.
Here comes Miko.
Yeah, Patel
stays
and Mika.
defensive on the inside of the hairpin. Mika can't quite get it done. Is he going to stick his nose in here? No, he's going to wait, but I wouldn't be surprised. Look at how close he is coming through here. We've seen another number of drivers give a surprise attack down into 3. Doesn't get the opportunity. It switches back for 4. He still holds on to the back within a car length of Patel, and now Muhammad starts to stretch away. Up ahead, Povey trying to get back into things. He's within 0.3 of Tom Valentini. He closed in through the hairpin, starts to drop back now as they head through the S's. Povey closing in, under braking. Oh, this is going to be a great opportunity. Tries to get himself the run. Does a decent job, but I think it was just a little bit momentum on the side of Tom Valentini. This is the highest battle for position that we've got. It's for 7th. Remember, Valentini on Jim Racing Yellow, they're 28th in points that we've got. Oh! Car contact between Povey and Jean-Philippe Lecombe, and Lecombe disappears. Looking at the replay, I don't think Lecombe expected that. He was a long ways back, suddenly dove to the inside, and the side-to-side contact.
Valentini while we're watching the replay, Valentini spins right in front of Povey.
And that was driver error.
Yeah.
Through turn 3, let's look at the replay. The Audi, known for having a little bit of trouble sometimes of spinning. You're going to see coming through 3, it's just the rear swaps ends.
He's able to get it going before he got caught up into the stuff behind him. Diego is going to be able to hang on to the 11th position. He didn't want to get into that mix that's going on back there that Sean's been following.
Yeah, and I'm not leaving it. I'm going to stay on it, guys, because the battle is intense, and now we're just under 6 minutes. It is heating up, and I got to tell you, that BMW there, Mohammed Patel, I expect him to really go on the attack here in these last closing laps.
Let's go through our top 5 real quick. David Jordan is still your leader, but it's closing a little bit. It's now 10 seconds between himself and Vinnick, who is in second place. Andre Bocher, 9 more seconds back in third. Pavel Ledvan for the Radical Online Still Series. He's in fourth. And Mark Perez rounds out our top 5. If we can get a moment, I want to put ourselves into the head of Simon Povey, though. Had to have been kicking himself, had to have been frustrated for getting a slowdown, losing a spot that he worked so hard for. And then, suddenly, in the flash of a couple corners, one of his competitors behind him who's threatening disappears, and the other competitor spins out of his way, and now he's got the spot all to himself.
Yeah,
that has got to be a relief.
I got to correct myself. You know, Valentini lost after that, the spin with Povey, that Povey's got to be saying what Joe just said. I'm glad that's over. Guys, Valentini lost to Acuto and to Guez. Go ahead, Sean.
Valentini battling really hard right now with Patel. Patel trying to get the position away from Catalan.
Yeah, not Valentini. You're talking Patel and Catalan, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I got my colors mixed up. No, it was Miko was actually battling there with Muhammad, and now they're still at it. The Thrustmaster Jim Racing Black Car is in this battle, and it is intense. Patel really digging right up on the wing of that Mercedes.
Tries to square off the Dunlop hairpin. Doesn't quite work as well as he would have hoped. All of them very close together, getting a little bit spread out through the S's. And now they're going to accordion back together. Into the left-hander, downhill, into the right-hander. Patel looking for that launch off the corner, just can't quite find it as he continues to follow in the wake of Diego Catalan.
Sean, just coming into this one late, it looks like Catalan might be like you said, might be the slowest car out there, right? Or at least playing defense for, I think, Patel.
He's been a good teammate, a real good teammate. Yeah. There might be a reason that's the Dream Factory 2 car, and the one in front of him is just the Dream Factory car.
Here comes the milkman looking around the outside of Patel. He was braking deep into turn 1. Couldn't do anything with it, though. And still the train continues.
I'd almost dare say the Dream Factory car piloted by Schumacher, the Dream Factory 2 car piloted by Barrichello, and
I get it.
And there they go.
Well, Patel has that same problem that the BMW. He's fast. He doesn't lose any speed through the twisty sections, but again, he's got to make the BMW at least get close to being able to outbrake him into one.
Yeah, and of course he's got the milkman right on his rear deck there, and that pressure added. It's a handful right now for Muhammad.
Right now,
to go.
yeah. I was going to say our leader should be getting the white flag next time by. Jordan's got about half a lap before he can get back to it. Just look at this stream of cars. This has got to be a nerve-wracking situation, especially if you're at the front of this train with only a minute to go, knowing that you've got a line of desperate people waiting to try and pounce on any sort of mistake.
Sorry, no big deal. Valentin got a little bit loose. I thought he was going to have some trouble. Everything's fine.
Oh, Patel almost got into the back.
Yeah, he did.
Catalina.
I don't think there was contact. If there was, it was very, very slight, but it was awful close. And he spins! Oh no! Mohammed Patel is around. The BMW loses it.
And unfortunately, he has also hit the incident limit. And there was no contact there. That was all on his own.
Loss of control. 2x.
Oh, gotta be gutting.
Gutting indeed. Are you kidding me? With 30 seconds left, that happened. Oh.
And then there were 5.
That's another spot for all the guys behind him, including Tusting, who now moves up into 15th.
White flag has flown as David Jordan continues to lead the way. At this point, it looks like they are just controlling their pace, down to 7 seconds between themselves and the Pure Racing Team Blue machine. It's been a dominant performance for Darcon Tigo. They've looked strong since the drop of the green, unthreatened. They fell back a little bit after the first pit stops. The few drivers taking a risk, going with a no-tire stop. It worked for some, not for others. Darcon Tigo stuck to the plan, however. Took tires every time. And with pretty much no traffic around them, they are going to come to the line all by themselves. David Jordan is going to take the checkered flag, but it was Jesus Cecilia who did most of the work here. The first 2 stints, running away with it. With one more corner to go. This is the last round, the last podium that we're going to see in the qualifiers of the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series. And the Darcon Tigo Racing Team is going to take the win with David Alexis Jordan behind the wheel. Maximilian Vinnick comes home just 6 seconds back in second for Pure Racing Team Blue. Andre Bocher, Husingfeld Core Motorsports Audi, is going to finish off the podium.
The BMW comes across in 4th place for Radical's Online Skill Series.
Nice job by Mark Perez. That Odox Motorsports machine held on to a top 5.
With no tires.
Well, old tires.
Old tires, yeah, right.
Yeah, tires.
Jordan Weeks coming home 6th. Simon Povey is a ways back, though. But he is going to claim 7th with a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work. The Apex Racing Simulators team, that is going to help them in the points.
Oh, another Valentini out. Oh, no. Oh, both of them, both drivers. I didn't see it was Valentini and somebody. They got together in the
Raul Diago.
And Diago in the hairpin. I'm not in the hairpin, but in the chicane there, coming up the hill. They get together side by side, and they're gone.
And you know what that does? You remember you called him Barrichello before? Well, Diego Catalan in Dream Factory 2 finishes in the 10th position after 2 cars disappear in front of him.
Best number 2 driver of all time, Diego.
Not bad
there
for
you
a
go,
dream,
buddy.
Not bad for a number 2 Dream Factory.
Wow. Oh, jeez. Oh, God, that's so deflating.
If we can get a quick before we go to break, Jose M. Cecilia Sanchez appears to have run out of fuel in the Dar Contigo AMG. He's getting a little bit of help around track. You can see him getting pushed around. So a little bit of help from competitors. So even after all this, guys can still stay friends and have some fun. But we're going to go to break. We're going to have the post-race interviews as well as the upcoming races on our screen during the break. But stick around because we're also going to have the unofficial results of the final round of the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series. Welcome back to the Nürburgring here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We just watched the final round in the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series, the qualifiers for the big stuff, the Blancpain GT Series, where all the money is on the line. So after this, we will get to hear who are the final qualifiers. But today, that's what's important, is the finishing order. Dar Contigo Racing Team looked like they were going to be solid for the victory since the drop of the green. Pure Racing Team Blue managed to come home in second. Hoisingfeld Core Motorsports were in third, followed by Radical's Online Steel Series. Odox Motorsports finished in fifth, followed by Torrent Motorsports BES. Then in seventh, it'll be Apex Racing Simulators, with eighth being Thrustmaster Movano Black. Ninth was Gecko Vortex Sim Racing Blue, and rounding out the top 10 bill is Dream Factory 2.
In 11th, Jim Racing Darth Vader. I'm not using colors anymore. Trident Racing in 12th. 13th position, Team Chimera. Jim Racing Submarine. Okay, it's Jim Racing Yellow and Jim Racing Black. Stop using colors to distinguish your names. Dream Factory in 15th spot. Core Sim Racing BES. Now this one, Black Star Racing Gemini, 17th spot from them. Hey, I just want to mention 13th spot. I was getting so hung up on my campaign to get rid of colors. How about Team Chimera, 13th position? That was Testing doing most of the work there, battling to stay on the lead lap. They pick up from attrition, 13th spot. Great run for them. Back to where I was. MSP Driver Home 2, 18th spot from that. Dark Antigo Racing Team AMG in 19th. And Sean, I'm lucky to be done with those 10 and still have a job. PND Racing. Over to you, buddy.
Oh, boy. And Feeder Ragnar Simulator, that DQ there towards the end. That's 21st spot. VE Sim Racing, Yellow, 22nd. In Inter E-Racing, BES1, going to finish 23rd. Extreme Motorsports, 24th. Team GTNF, 25th today. Vendaval Sim Racing, 26th. Shinya Machimi Sim Racing Yellow, 27th. MSP Drivers Home, 28th. Vendaval Sim Racing White, 29th. Their teammate, Vendaval Sim Racing Azul, 30th.
31st with JCL Sim Racing BES, and obviously these are all drivers that ran into trouble early on. Gecko Vortex Sim Racing Green were 32nd. BSR J Blanco Team Red 33rd. Trinity Motorsports Green were 34th, followed by Team Time DK in 35th. Origin Front Row Racing finished 36th, with iRacing Brazil GT3 not bringing home a good finish from their last round, 37th. Ryan Race Team 2 in 38th, and Team RSO BGT rounding out the field in 39th. We have our winner that actually took the checkered flag waiting in our ready for interview room. So let's talk to David Alexis Jordan and see how he felt about that last stint and what his thoughts are about going and competing in the big series. David, first off, congratulations on the win today. Nicely done. Do you guys know if this will get you into the official series?
Firstly, thanks for the congratulations. I'm not sure if it will get us there, but because it's quite close on points, but I'm hoping that the drop week, because we had a 0 points week, I'm hoping that will put things in our favour. I'm quite confident.
Well, crossing fingers for you and hoping for the best. Talk us through that final stint. Were you taking it easy, just making sure you brought it home since you had that buffer?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Just the consistency in the lap here, it's quite tough. I was struggling to get the last chicane done without getting off track, so I was being pretty cautious there. But Jesus just put me in a prime position, and I didn't have to take risks. So from there, it was just taking it home.
Yeah, we saw a number of drivers who were DQ'd from running into the incident limit. Was that a worry for your team coming in? We certainly were a bit surprised by the number that fell afoul.
Not really. I mean, the biggest thing is getting through the first few laps without any touches or any... Because the past couple of races, we've seen a lot of cars and drivers get stuck in a lot of problems on the first laps. That, you know, the T1's very inviting. So, but Jesus, he just cleared off and he kept the incident limit down. So that made my job pretty easy. Well, a lot easier than it could have been.
Well, we had 6 rounds here for the qualifier. Which do you say was your favorite and you would love to see back next time around of the tracks that you raced on?
Oh, it's got to be Spa, hasn't it? Fast track, fun. I think everybody loves Spa. Everybody's fast there, and yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed that I binned it on the last race because it was looking like we were going to win that one too.
Yeah, it's always a shame to see a front runner have unfortunate circumstances toward the end, but was not the case today. Once again, congratulations, and thanks for coming and talking to us.
Thank you very much.
David Alexis Jordan, the driver who took the checkered flag for Dar Contigo, and he shared that with Jesus Cecilia, who set him up for an excellent win. Up next, Bill has caught up with Maximilian Venig, second place finisher for Pure Racing Team Blue. Let's let them talk to Max and see how that race went.
Max, congratulations. I felt like I was on board with you the whole time. I loved the early stop. Let's talk about your strategy. You were running about 8th position, and you were the first to pit.
The whole point of making another strategy than the other guys is that we didn't get the qualifying time we should have got. I did an off track on the first lap, and on the second lap I think I failed in the last chicane. I lost about 2/10 there, so it might have been second place in qualify, but that didn't work out, so we have to start from 9th. I think we did get one spot in the early race. And so we were thinking about, okay, what should we do? There was a big train in front of us. Everybody was about the same pace. The tires went off because of the draft. And so we said, okay, let's just do the short stint we would have done in the end of the race in front. And we were switching drivers. So John was driving the first one and I did the second one. And yeah, so I can drive without any traffic, and it worked out pretty good.
Came out about, I believe, 3rd or 4th there, and then you had a few to pick up. Worked out very well. Are you confident now? Certainly Pure Racing Team Blue has certainly qualified. You guys are good to go for the big series coming up in 2017.
Yeah, we are qualified. We are 4 teams in the Blancpain GT series this year. Actually, the blue team didn't have to qualify because we were qualified from last season. And yeah, but it's an honor for us to have 4 teams in the World Championship, and yeah, it was great.
So you have 4. Are they all labeled colors? Is that where the Pure Racing team are the colors? Is that what we're going to see?
Yeah, we have I think black, red, yellow, and blue.
All right. Can we use Disney Princess? Do you have time to change that? Can you make that like Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Esmeralda? Okay. See if iRacing will let you make that change. I'm tired of colors. Okay.
Okay, we will mind that.
Hey, congratulations, man. I'm giving you a hard time, but it was fun to watch. You guys were really dominant. Good luck good luck for the money.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. There you have it. Maximilian Vennick, you are second place team today for Pure Racing Team Blue. Joe?
And sadly, this is going to wrap things up. That's the last of our interviewers for tonight. And we're going to say goodbye to the iRacing Blancpain Endurance Series for now. And you won't get any more of the Blancpain Series until April 15th. But definitely tune in when the official stuff starts up. Once again, we want to thank Blancpain for their sponsorship of this. It's been just a huge, great introduction of a great series here onto iRacing. And I think I'm safe to say for the entire team, we've enjoyed getting to cover it. We love watching their races and look forward to it returning. Thank you to iRacing for organizing this. And thank you once again to RaceSpot for giving GSRC the chance to cover these qualifying rounds. Thanks to the software and hardware that we use for our broadcast. You can see those listed on your screen. Additional thanks to our musical contributors, Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, whose music you can also find at the websites listed. Thanks to the team today for one last time, Bill, Sean, and Amjad, as well as Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /GlobalSimRacingChannel. The next race, we keep mentioning it one more time for you. If you haven't written it down, do it this time. The iRacing Blancpain GT Series starts on April 15th with the 3 Hours of Monza, so don't miss that. We also have upcoming races for other series on screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. However, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.